Wrong song.
You're listening to the Heat Ratio Podcast, brought to you by the Heat Ratio Sports Network. This show brings the temperature of sports to a whole new level. Whether it's a local opinion or a national agenda, everything is fair game. Remember, everyone has an opinion, but only few can back it up. Now sit back, crank up the volume, and if you think you can handle it, get ready for the heat.
What is up, boys? Heat Ratio, episode 137. Not even coming in hot today. I just can't even come in hot. Let me just say, let me give you a quick rundown of the show, and then we're just going to go right. We're going to blaze right from the beginning. Okay, we're going to talk a little Carson Wentz as always. And before everybody checks in and starts to say that we should talk about Carson, it's stagnant. Guess what? If you don't understand sports talk, then get off the show. Because the problem is, this is the objective right now. It's what's going on in this town. So that just means that you're not talking about, which means you're not an actual sports fan. So get lost. What if Jalen is better? We're going to talk about that. Is Doug Pederson a lame duck coach? Eagles versus Panther. Please tell me what is different between the Eagles and the Carolina Panthers. Tom Brady shake geek. Does this guy really not like to shake hands? Is he like the biggest sore loser of all time? Klay's unfortunate second ACL. Daryl Morey is a legend already with a Sixers 360 flip. What are you thankful for in sports? A little hip-hop flashback with Snoop Dogg 27 years ago. But right off the bat, we have to talk about Eagles. And this is all I'm going to say. I'm going to say a little 2-minute thing, and I'm going to open it up to everybody because I'm going to put a challenge out there for everybody in Twitter land, everybody on Facebook, everybody. Please tell me this, okay? I'm going to give you, these are statistics. These are, people are using words like keyboard bullies and Twitter analysts. And I like all these people to think they know what the hell they're talking about, but they don't. They're quick to tell somebody else they don't know what they're talking about, but they don't actually know what they're talking about either. The last time I checked, there's only a few people that actually have the credentials to actually back up what they're saying. And they're not the people that are tweeting me. So, next point. The Eagles, in my opinion, backed into a corner. Doug can't start Hurts because he's scared, even though Wentz needs to be benched. Because what happens if Carson is that bad? What happens if Jalen is that good? What happens if it works? They can't turn back. They're screwed. Let me just tell you something. 19th in passing yards, 15th in completions, 20th in touchdowns, first in picks. And ready for these two stats, and these are where I'm going to challenge everybody in Twitter world, everybody on Facebook, every Philadelphia fan that's telling me Carson Wentz is still the guy. 58% completion rate. Worst in the NFL. 12% lower than Daniel friggin' Jones. 6.2 yards per attempt. Worst in the NFL. And before anybody says anything, I challenge everybody with one question. Please tell me why Carson Wentz gives you the best chance to win right now. Explain it to me. I don't want to hear, it's all offensive line. I don't want to hear any of the friggin' excuses anymore. Tell me why he is the best reason for us to win football games, because I'm going to tell you something right now. You three guys know it. Everybody listening know it. If you put out those stats, I don't care if it's Tom freaking Brady, they're getting benched. So why is Carson Wentz untouchable? And for parts unknown, finally, Mikey Goose, at Mikey Goose, follow the guy. Mike, talk to me. What, am I crazy? What's going on here?
So just out of curiosity, what are you getting a lot of flack that this is like a Wentz bashing session? Is that what's happening?
It's like, there's two guys. There wasn't actually five guys there. There was two guys to say, like, all these guys are analysts. They have no clue. Zero.
Well, look, I think my voice just speaks for the average, somewhat informed, emotional fan, right? That's kind of like the role that I play here. If anybody takes anything that I say seriously, they should get their head examined. That's number one, okay? Number two, if anybody is going to sit here and defend the play of this guy, I don't see any facts to back up why, like you said, why this guy should remain in any of the games outside of maybe one thing, which is completely shaking his confidence and maybe showing the rest of the team that they're not really behind this foundational guy that they probably sold the entire team on. Again, let's try to put ourselves in what's happening behind the scenes that we don't know. The entire team, rookies and all, have been told that this guy is the guy that's basically going to lead them. It's their leader. It's like a company taking out their CEO in the middle of it. So I have to sort of understand, for continuity purposes, that's probably why he doesn't want to do it. And I also may agree with what you just said, Tone, that what if he puts Hurts in and it's all saying Hurts now, right? Hurts, and the guy just flat out stinks. I mean, that would be totally our luck because this year has sucked so bad that that's probably what's going to happen, or the guy's going to wind up getting injured or doing something stupid. And, it's like a perfect fitting. So I think Doug is saying, probably looking at it from a measure of control, meaning that he feels that he can probably, I would say, control Carson to a certain extent, or maybe he really feels like he can get him back. But if you pull the guy, what kind of a message does that send to the rest of the team?
No, you're right. You're right.
Maybe that's it.
I get it. Hey, Al, checking in. What's up, Al? How you doing, buddy? We're gonna get to that Sixer stuff a little later. Bill, let's take Bill's question. What's up, Bill? Thanks for checking in. Thanks for watching it. Again, high school football coach right here. This dude knows what he's talking about.
Hey, Bill.
So I would love to have a conversation with him. And right now, he says, my big question: did Doug Pederson become a bad coach? In my opinion, if he has the right people in place, he won a Super Bowl against the best dynasty in NFL history. So, is it Doug, or is the front office, or a combination? So, all right, I know Dave likes this question. Dave, I'm going to pivot right to you because you've been on this for the last few weeks, for actually the last year. So, Dave, you can answer this question. It's right up your alley.
I mean, listen, I think Bill is in line with everything that I've talked about. Front office first. It's a trickle-down effect. Tony, no one can argue with those stacks. He is playing horrendous. How could any possible person defend the play of Carson Wentz at this point?
You'd be surprised.
Right. Well, I get it, but I still don't want him to be removed. Okay, I don't. And here's a long shot of a reason why. Here's a long shot of a reason why. How about seeing if he can actually complete a season without getting hurt? How about something like that? How about that everything around him still, and I know this is, the same scenario week after week, it's all disheveled. Everything is disheveled. Nothing is streamlined. It's out of whack completely. Let me ask you a question. The play that was intercepted where Alshon Jeffrey missed the ball, didn't jump, there was a flag.
How about gave up, or he can't move because he's a statue and he stinks? How about that? Don't forget about that.
Everybody and their mother is blaming Carson Wentz for the throw. I watched the play. I watched the replay 6 times. And I'm all for bashing Wentz, guys. I am. I'm all for it.
I don't think that was Wentz's fault.
No, I don't either. But this is the product. This is the personnel on the field that he has. Now, listen, taking the sacks, not throwing the ball out of bounds, happy feet. I get, guys, there's no argument. Tony, you're nailing the head. The numbers don't lie in that scenario.
Numbers don't lie, Dave.
But is Carson Wentz the closest thing you have to potentially having a Super Bowl franchise? Yes or no?
Right now, no.
Who is?
Are you talking about quarterback wise?
Yeah, quarterback. He's the quarterback.
I guess he's probably the best thing that you have to go forward. But you're going to go forward with what? You bring up a bunch of interesting points, and I will say the last couple of weeks, the offensive line has been like Swiss cheese and turnstiles, so he can't really hold the ball that long because he doesn't have a second to even think.
Mike, I love you brought that up because why isn't Mailata playing? Why is Jason Peters playing? Why aren't these kids that have proven that they can protect him playing? Jason Peters maybe played 50-50, okay, not so good, whatever. Put Mailata in there. Let him play. This kid has seen so many different things in front of him where they're missing blocks, the running backs aren't picking up linebackers, the receivers aren't running the right routes, and then Carson on top of it makes a bad throw. or he doesn't throw the ball out of bounds.
The bullshit narrative, Dave. I love you, I do, and I know, and I don't normally do, but this is the same shit that I've been watching on Twitter. And guess what? We're in week 12 now. Week 12. Jared Goff left his left tackle, all-pro left tackle, goes down in Whitworth. And did you see all excuses made by Sean McVay and Jared Goff in that game? No, Jared Goff, okay, he threw a couple picks, but he made plays. When you're $100 million quarterback, I don't give a shit who's in front of you. You're paid $100 million to make shit happen, Dave. You have to make shit happen,
Tony. I would love for Carson to be thrown to Cooper Kupp. How would that look on the Eagles helmet?
Yeah, everybody's saying that.
No.
Here, I got a good one for you. Wait, hold on for a second. Before I'm going to get to John because I see him, and we got these questions coming because I love this argument. Okay, so we were without one guy. Okay, one offensive weapon who, before the season started, we heard we were competing for a Super Bowl this year because we got a great offense. Miles Sanders, Zach Ertz, Dallas Goedert, right? Jalen Reagor. Oh, can't wait. Deshaun Jackson. All right, so two guys were down, Deshaun Jackson and Zach Ertz. So Deshaun Jackson and Zach Ertz, those two guys who all of a sudden now they make us a Super Bowl team? They do. So we get Miles Sanders back. Did that do anything? Dallas Goedert came back. Did that do anything?
So
Alshon Jeffrey, whether we want him or not, he came back. Did that do anything?
Is it all on Carson?
It's not all on Carson because it's a mix of the play calling and it's a mix of Carson. It's definitely not all on him, but nothing is gelling right now. We have no idea what's coming out of the leadership. We don't know what they're telling him to do. If you remember, the guy, when he makes plays, specifically in 2017, when he rolls out, he's dangerous. He breaks plays down. He can get all kinds of crazy things done. Think about all the big games he's had. Has he ever really been a pocket passer where he just sits in there and picks people off? Is really that his game? Did they put him back in the pocket because they don't want him to get injured anymore? Or when he runs down the field, I scream, why is he running? We don't want him to get hurt again. And now he's in the pocket. I'm telling him he should run. Everybody's saying everybody is picking both sides and nobody knows what to stick on. But I can tell you this, and we all know because we've seen it, when the guy rolls out and he moves around, that seems like where he has the biggest success. And now the only time he's doing that is when he's running for his life. So I think that his bad play in combination with everybody else's bad play is making it impossible to really figure out who's screwing up now because it's just a complete screw up.
And I've been saying it for week after week. Ahead,
yeah, on top of that, John's right. Bad play calling. I mean, his play calling is atrocious.
It is. I'll give you that. Now, so Steve Check said, he said there's no rhythm to the offense. It's never a 3-step, 5-step drop, set, and throw. I don't have access to all the film, but it seems to me he isn't reading defenses or progressions of the routes. Nothing is on time. He pumps, waits for someone to be wide open, and takes bad sacks. Absolutely. Okay, he's 100% spot on. If you go watch the game film. Watch the game film. And for all the keyboard bullies who people like to call, and all the Twitter analysts, it's $12. Go buy yourself an NFL package. Go watch the game in 59 minutes. Go watch the film and then come talk to me and tell me what you see. Okay, because I'll tell you what I see. I see Carson looking at two wide open receivers and he doesn't throw him the ball. Why? Because he's hesitant. He's afraid to screw up. That's never been what he was about, ever. Now, all of a sudden, that's what you have. And I'm telling you right now, you don't just snap your finger and that just doesn't go away.
So where did it come from then? Do you just wake up one day and decide that you're just lose all your confidence? I mean, he's rebounded pretty well from the injury.
Mike,
what are the coaches telling him?
Can you say Ricky Bobby?
We're back to that now.
For goodness, he is Ricky Bobby, dude.
Ricky Bobby.
That's what it is.
Ricky
Plain
Bobby.
and simple.
Again, Ricky Bobby makes an appearance in our show. John brought that up 2 weeks ago. John loves Ricky Bobby.
He likes Ricky Bobby. He does. Was Ricky Bobby a Steeler fan?
No. Truthfully, I never saw that movie until about 3 years ago. Because, it was just, I never saw that movie. And then, now it's a
I mean, listen, this is, Al's, my question is, did Carson just wake up in training camp and forget how to play football?
That's what I said, Al.
Al, we're all asking the same thing. We're not saying he's a bum. He's having an awful season, but he still gives us the best chance to win. You can have a bad season. It happens. Listen.
Al brings up a good point. He brings up a good point. But the stuff that he's doing, though, Al, the stuff that Wentz is doing looks doesn't look like you're having a bad season, like you got a bad deck of cards. It looks like the questions and the decisions that he's making, the reads that he's not making, it looks like a total regression. And that's why everybody's
like he's never played ball before.
It looks like, weird, right? Exactly. He doesn't look like he even belongs out there.
Here's the question I got to everybody. Everybody who came on this show, everybody who tweeted last year about, oh, look what Carson did with nothing. He had no wide receivers. Carson's the best. He took us to the playoffs with Greg Ward. Now all of a sudden, oh no, don't yell at Carson. He doesn't have enough receivers. He's the same guy you were propping up last year. Now you want to give him the excuse. You didn't give it to last year. He was the best. Now all of a sudden he needs, come on, stop. You flip-flop worse than the goddamn
so what's your
seesaw.
answer? What's your answer?
Oh my God.
Tell us how you really feel. Keep going. He's on a roll. Keep going.
No, seriously, like I don't understand it. Everybody always wants to make excuses. Go around the freaking NFL. Every single team has lost players, has lost linemen. They understand that. I get it. And listen, how come when you look at other teams, you watch other quarterbacks come in and they just can play? Like, they just can play. Listen, against us,
tell me who.
Here you go. The San Francisco 49er game, right? Nick Mullins was terrible, sucked ass, right? CJ Beathard comes in.
Listen to that.
He goes like 8 for 8. Carson could have go 8 for 8 if he tried. This CJ friggin' Beathard.
Hold on. Let me take it another direction real quick. Good point.
He's detained that. He's continuing doing that. Beathard is for them.
Dave, is we've seen the same thing every single week.
Not for
I
long.
don't disagree with you. I'm not disagreeing with you. I want to know what your resolution to the whole thing is.
I'm just waiting to talk. I mean, it's been 17 minutes. That's all right, because I'll give Dave the solution, in my opinion.
Sorry, John.
No, it's no apology. Look, you guys, your hearts bleed the green, but I still have my opinion. So I like you guys getting the air out and everything. Look, Wentz is not playing good, but you have to look at it like in a holistic approach. All right, this team is not gelling. I mean, Mike, you said it. You said the gelling. All right. There is no semblancy to this team. Wentz is not making good decisions. You could blame it on the weapons. Dave, I think you said Cooper Kupp. Do you see how many catches Cooper Kupp had with guys actually blanketed on him?
Yes.
And still caught the ball?
Yes.
Because it was thrown to him where it needed to be thrown. And all I'm saying is Wentz isn't doing that. Wentz, look, I'm not saying the guys are getting the receivers are getting wide open by any means. I mean, a lot of times there's tight coverage. You're an NFL quarterback and you can throw I don't even know what mile-an-hour fastball that those balls come out at. You can laser one in there. You got it. Dude, taking a shot doing that versus lazy river flob up over the top ain't going to cut it. You know what I mean?
Especially when you're throwing in the quadruple coverage for a Hail Mary. Like, what's that? Like, who's going to make an excuse for that dumb play? I'd love to hear the Twitter warriors on that one. And I'm not just sitting here bashing Wentz. I was the biggest Wentz supporter, okay? The biggest Wentz supporter. But let's call it out. This is Philly.
I still have Wentz as my backup quarterback in my one league. That's how much I am, like, not a basher, but oh my goodness, every week after week, he gives me no reason to keep him, but I can't part with him. I can't part with him.
Why not?
And because
I think we're on to something here.
But here, this is my mentality, whether it's fantasy or reality.
Okay.
It for me, it's always streaks. If you show me a streak of 4 good games, then you have a blow for 2 games. I would, you know what I mean? It's about what you do net 50-50. Okay. So Wentz comes out, look, he was not playing good, but then week 6 against Baltimore, he stages a comeback, no picks, 2 touchdowns. Then the following week, then he busts out for 350 plus or whatever, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. Following week, he goes down Giants or whatever. No, what 3 weeks was it? I don't know. But he's sitting there and he's putting up stats. He's looking like he's decent. Then he goes bad game going into the bye, thinking that he's going to come out. He didn't. And then the Cleveland game, it was just like, what the hell? So that was the breaker for me. He had 3 decent games, and then it was like after, it's like, it's whatever the streak is. If you have 8 good games, then like you get a little bit of a blow to have 3 or 4. But he's really shown nothing other than that 3-game streak.
And yet you still hold on to him because you're holding him on your bench because you're just hoping that flash of Wentz comes back. And if he does, then wherever you got him at, you got amazing value. You're like, I got this guy on the bench. He's just going to turn it around. You're holding on to him. All right. And let's say that never happens. What was it like 5? I forget, maybe 10 years ago. Geez, it's been a while since I played fantasy. But Maurice Jones-Drew, he had that amazing year. And then the next year, everybody had him up high. And then he sucked. And then he gets hurt. And then I grabbed him on waivers because he was just sitting there. And I kept him on my bench for like 10 games. And he did nothing. But I always wanted to keep in the back of my mind that, oh, this guy's going to blow up. I'm going to keep the value. I'm going to sell him high. And he never did anything. You're grasping onto this guy, hoping that everything turns around. And I'm not saying you're an Eagles fan, John. This is from a fantasy perspective, but I think maybe a lot of our fans are just doing this because we can't even fathom that $128 million franchise quarterback all of a sudden is garbage. It's like the worst thing to happen to Philadelphia, especially during this pandemic bullshit, this horrible year. It's terrible. And we wanted the Eagles to do so good because we do bleed green. You said it the right way. And we cannot accept the fact that this guy might be done. I'm not saying he is or he isn't, but it's super depressing already in a very depressing year.
Dude, I 100% agree because it's completely different looking at it from an outsider perspective when it's like not really mattering, but like last year without Ben, like watching this team, it's just like it like wrenches your insides week after week after week. So I completely get it. It's just it was the year and a half injury laden of MVP caliber. Like I know this year has been a disaster, and I mean there are guys. Look, diehard Philly fan. Look, I can't take him anymore. But the bottom line is, then he needs to be benched. It comes from the top. Look, I'm not a politics guy. Never was, never will be. It's about what is right for the good, okay? And the good is the Philadelphia Eagles, all right? And that should come from the top going down. And the good is what is now, what do we have to do to win, okay? I understand salary cap and shit is long term, but I'm just talking right now, we got to win. What gives you the best chance to win? And if that means benching Wentz or halftime and Hurts comes in and wins a game and he gets a start and wins a game, then he loses and you bring Wentz back, are you any worse off than 3 wins that you got?
Nope. Not necessarily, but again, it could be job security. Tony brought up the interesting point a couple of weeks ago by saying we don't know how hard Pederson went in and said, you got to draft this guy Wentz. This guy Wentz is amazing. You don't know if he was knocking on Roseman's door every 5 seconds. You don't know if Roseman was doing that. You don't know if they were both conspiring to tell Laurie, we're going to take Wentz. He's the best. He's the best. He's the best.
Let me say this.
So Paul,
let me say this.
What you're saying.
Tony, you brought up a point. You brought up a point a couple weeks ago about Tua on the practice field, and the Miami Dolphins had this epiphany saying, we have to get this kid on the field. We have to get him on the field because of what he was doing in practice. Possibly that was the scenario of benching Fitzmagic, right? Okay. So
maybe.
Is it possible that the Eagles are looking at Ertz right now and saying, you know what? I don't see him being better than what Carson can give us.
No.
Maybe.
No.
That can't be a possibility.
No, I don't think it is.
Why?
Oh, that can't
why
be
do you?
Hold on, I'll tell you in a second. Hold on. No, we got like 30 questions. I don't want to ignore. Let's get to the comments first.
Roll through the questions first.
And then, all right. So Bill says, I would say this is a coach. Again, highly respectable guy. Bill's a coach, just like Coach Dave. Wentz is awful, but if Jalen isn't showing me something to make me believe he is the guy to turn it around, I would have a tough time putting him in. So that's to Dave, and I'm going to answer that in a second. Bob Lynch, he's a fan. Revolving door at O-line and wide receiver, so he's an excuse guy. No offense, Bob. Okay, losing Frank Reich. Play call, that's another. The Frank Reich narrative, that's old. I'm done with that. Is this your right? Too many headbutts, Dixon. Al says, I heard the announcer say at least 5 times the wide receivers can't get any separation. Let me tell you something, Al. I get it. Okay, but John alludes to the same thing. So you know what? I teach, and John will agree with this. I teach my soccer kids all the time. You have about a centimeter. If you have a centimeter, that's enough room to take a shot on net. Same thing. You have a centimeter, it's a shot. Get the guys to make a play. Unfortunately, he doesn't do that.
They're baiting him, though. Those cornerbacks and those safeties are baiting him because they know he's going to make a bad decision. You can see they're just sitting on routes waiting for him to throw the ball.
They're ready to
They're just waiting. They're waiting.
The offense is so freaking predictable. It's not even funny.
Really it is.
And Tony, I know you mentioned it before. I'm not saying that's your stance now, but don't tell me that you're dumbing down the offense. Not you, Tony. I'm just saying, don't tell me you're dumbing down the offense to the point that they know what you're doing. And that is like the dumbest thing you can do.
So Kevin, what's up? Kevin, ain't seen you in a long time, brother. Thanks for checking in. Right, you can't have it both ways. He's back to the when I was going off about the fans. Last year was great for Carson. He took no receivers and got them into the playoffs. Now this year they want it the other way. They're complaining about it. Ryan says, tell Doug, run the ball. Lyman get 2 yards and the backs 2 to 3 more, run downhill. Would love him to run. He's not going to do it.
Why? Why won't he do it, though? Why won't he do it? Because it actually works, right? They ran the ball all the way down the field, and then they fumbled it on the 5-yard line. That's when the drink went halfway across the living room. Okay, because that was the most frustrating part of the whole game.
John, this is for you. Go Steelers. Dave Deramo, is that your boy?
Yeah,
Go Steelers. There you go. There's
Dave.
Nice.
Principal Dave. Shout out.
David Ellerstein, that's my boy. Ted Lawhead of Lawhead Nissan would rather rearrange his closet than waste a Sunday night watching Wentz. I'm going to say that is a great point, David. Okay, that's my buddy Normie. He's always spitting the truth. Normie's a big Dolphins fan, and he's been a Dolphins fan for a long time during the rebuilding. And let's just say right now he's got a big smile on his face. But he's right about Lawhead.
That's great. I love it. And also, a couple seasons ago, the whole NFL said Carr is done. Cut or trade him. Now look at the season he's having, right?
Consistency.
He's talking about Derek Carr.
Consistency.
Steve says, one other thing that bothers me is there's no accountability anywhere on this team from Howie all the way down to the players on the field. They look unprepared, pre-snap penalties on offense, jumping off sides on defense. Nothing changes. Nobody's held accountable. Signs of a poor locker room, in my opinion. We'll get a couple more, then we'll start talking. Fair weather fan Mikey Googs.
Dude.
What's that about? Wow, that's
taking shots.
You're right at Googs already. Andre, my man, A-Bomb. Carr went to a team that focused on offense with a good O-line. Kevin checking in again. It's time fans use their real eyes about Wentz.
Ooh,
thank you.
Powerful.
Jamar checking in. What's up, Jamar? Why draft Jalen Hurts then? Exactly. If he's not going to play, why draft him, right?
Because they're idiots.
Is the O-line bad when Sanders is averaging 6 yards a carry? Kevin, thank you. Here's what I want to add. I love this.
We're nice, Kevin.
Right,
let's get into that one. Yes.
Let's get into this because our O-line sucks so bad. We have a revolving door. Oh, my God, poor Carson. He's got no O-lineman. 6.1 yards per carry. Yeah, they suck. They're fucking
they're terrible. They're disgusting.
I never even dropped the F-bomb, but I just did. They are brutal. So bad that Boston Scott had a 53-yard touchdown the other day.
Yeah, he sucks too.
Horrendous.
Let's not use that play again. Okay? That was dumb. Dumb idea.
Give me a break.
Yeah.
Man, give me a break. And Dave, okay, let's go. So I got to get my thoughts together again. Okay? So what was I? Oh, I know, no chance. This is why there's no chance that they don't see what they can see out of Jalen Hurts. I'm telling you right now, I'll say it again. Doug Pederson gets it chubby thinking about what he can do with Jalen Hurts. Doug Pederson has probably 50 plays he wants to run right now with Jalen Hurts. But you know what? He's not doing it. You know why? Because he's scared. I'm telling you, he's scared of 2 reasons. Number one, look, Jeffrey Lurie, like you said, Carson Wentz is Jeff's boy. Okay. And again, we've already heard about Howie pulling shots. Okay. So I don't think Doug even has the authority to remove Carson Wentz. And if he did, he knows damn well that Jalen Hurts is probably going to do something. I'm not saying win a bunch of games, but do something to spark the offense. And then I will add this, and then you can talk. Okay, so I don't mean to sound like a dick. I'm just saying, like no, I didn't.
Hey, nobody's saying anything. You go right ahead, man.
Yeah, that came off. That came off a little weird. But at the end of the day, here's what I'm going to say. If Carson Wentz is that bad, okay, and Jalen Hurts goes in and does a little bit, gets a spark, gets the team hopping, how do you go back to your locker room and tell them now that you're taking him back out and putting the stiff back in? How do you do it? And seriously, it's the same thing. You know what? And answer me this, Dave. Carson, we don't want to make a move. This is Doug. Because it signals the end of the season. Are you kidding me? Well, so you just killed the kid's confidence already. He hasn't even gotten a game. You're telling him that if he gets it, he's a human victory cigar.
That was stupid to say. He shouldn't have said that.
Yeah, it's just terrible because Doug's a stiff too.
Once
okay,
again,
Dave.
I'm just saying that's exactly why Jalen Hurts should have had. I'm saying over 10 weeks, 11 weeks of the NFL season, he should have at least 20 pass attempts. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
How many does he have? 0?
No, he has a couple.
Yeah,
he should have at least 20 to give him a shot to see what he does have.
I'll go back to what you said a couple weeks ago, John. They should have put him in for a series at a time. They haven't even decided to do that. Now, why? You tell me why the guy that Tony thinks has all these plays for him, and maybe he does, I don't know. Why wouldn't they give him an opportunity to play a series? They're afraid of trying to win? Are you telling me that the Eagles coaching staff is afraid to try and win the game?
Maybe he doesn't have the packages down.
Hold on.
Maybe they're trying to not lose.
Is Jalen Hurts a backup quarterback?
Yes.
Okay, so you're telling me the coach has no plays for him, and if Carson Wentz gets hurt, he's unprepared to go in a game.
I don't know where you're coming from with that. I never said that.
No, because you're telling me that you just said that you made a sarcastic comment about Doug having all these plays for Jalen Hurts. What I'm saying is, if they didn't think he could play, why would he be the number 2 quarterback on the depth chart?
Because they're told to make him the number 2 quarterback.
Again, so let me, and I'm going to ask a really dumb question. I don't know if this is right, but seriously. So if Carson Wentz goes down, who comes? It has to be the number 2 quarterback, right? They can't just pick somebody else to come in, correct? It has, right?
Well, they did with their 3rd string or whatever. Who they have? Was it Brian Hoyer or whatever?
No, this is what I'm asking an honest question. So if Jalen Hurts is your number 2 quarterback on game day, and your number 3 quarterback is Nate Sudfeld, if Carson Wentz gets hurt, can they say, we want to bring Sudfeld in? Or does it? I think it has to be the backup, correct? That's why they have to list them 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Okay, so my question to you and everybody else in Twitterland is, if Jalen Hurts can't play worth a shit, why is he your number 2 quarterback?
Well, maybe they made him the number 2 quarterback at the beginning of the year because they just drafted him and thought they'd be able to mold him into something. And Pederson gets more than halfway through the season and doesn't like what he sees and doesn't tell anybody. And they just, they're just praying Wentz doesn't get hurt. Maybe he's going to cross that bridge when he gets there. We don't have any idea.
Decision though, Mike. He has every single week. He has a decision to flip flop. If Jalen Hurts can't play, put him at number 3 then.
Well, then,
nobody's talking about this. Nobody's talking about it.
You're right.
What the New Orleans Saints did with their kid.
You know what? You're going to talk about Taysom Hill. I got something to say on that, Dave. Thanks for bringing that up real quick.
Listen,
you know what?
Hold on 1 second. You got last year when Bridgewater was on the team.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So it was Breeze was your number 1. Bridgewater was your number 2.
Right.
And then Taysom was your 3, and he got in the games the same situation. He was brought into the game as a gadget guy, listed as the number 3.
Right.
But
so we could do the same thing. The Eagles could do the same exact thing.
Yes, maybe. What if they have him more focused on the backup role, though? What if they have him really preparing to be the number 2 to take all the reps? Maybe they have him more focused towards that because it doesn't seem like he's getting many of those Taysom Hill gadget plays. And for anybody that wants to come out and say, you could just put a guy like Taysom Hill in and look what he did with the Saints. Guess what? Nobody's got any film on him. All right. As soon as they get film on you, the NFL, right? Not for long. I don't know who came up with that acronym, but that's been going around for a while. But as soon as it's there and they figure it out, these defensive coordinators, it's their job. They have every possible camera angle. They have every piece of technology. They're going to figure out what you're doing. And once you're figured out, they shut you down. It's a wildcat offense. Lasted a year, worked for a while. All this stuff works for a while, and then it goes away, and there's a reason for that. So, perhaps he's only getting. I only think that guy Taysom Hill did something because nobody really knows. Maybe they didn't know how to defend against him. And I heard some other commentator talking about that this morning on ESPN, and it really brought it brought a light. It got me thinking. If they don't have film on you, right, it makes total sense. But the ones that are in the league for a while, I mean, look at Lamar Jackson. I mean, people all of a sudden last year he was like, oh my God, he's the best. I had people tell me he was the best quarterback in the league. My son told me that. I said, what? What are you talking about? He's the best quarterback in the league because they all love the running quarterbacks, right? Because it's like the new toy and it's new shiny. Well, I think it was Colin. I think it was the Herd this morning. Colin Herd. He said something like the running quarterbacks are great. It's the fad of the NFL, but they don't last very long, because they take so many hits and
because they get hit.
They get hit a lot, right? So
Cam Newton.
No, yeah. Well, there you go. He's lasted quite some time, but he's not the Cam Newton of old, obviously.
Exactly.
No.
Wasn't Lamar the MVP of the league last year?
Yep.
Dude, Lamar was like everybody wanted Lamar. I mean, he was the man.
And Tony, to your point, I don't really know. I wasn't trying to be sarcastic about Jalen knowing plays or not, but I honestly don't care about any of that stuff. I don't get excited about what this reporter says about Wentz or what if he sucks. We know he sucks. They're 3-6-1. My point is, what's the alternative? What's your answer? Do you give up on Carson Wentz, or is he the best chance for you to win a potential Super Bowl in the next, not this year because they suck, in the next year, 2 or 3? That's what you have to figure out and stop worrying about him sucking this year.
Well, what if they don't want to put Hurts in there because they don't want to they're going to put him in the middle of a train wreck and destroy his confidence too? I mean, if they know
That's football, tough shit. That's
I agree. Dave, I agree with you 100%. If you're that fragile and you can't deal with it, look, and too bad. Then you don't belong on the Eagles.
We've seen many quarterbacks in their careers ruined because of inept coaching leadership, man. Come on. You guys know that.
I've seen a lot of quarterbacks ruined because of the Eagles fan base just bashing them. So
like me.
What's that mean?
Like me. I'm sorry, Donovan McNabb.
Bro. Stop.
I'm sorry.
No, come on. Dude, you guys
I'm right.
Dude, don't tell me about a benching is going to ruin a guy's confidence, but not like 70,000 Eagles fans screaming down wasted on a Sunday.
Throwing shit at them. Exactly. You're right.
Difference.
You're right.
So Al kind of shut me up because I was waiting for somebody to say that. We all know it's a huge difference between run blocking and pass blocking.
Thank you, Al.
I get it.
Run blocking is way easier than pass blocking.
I know. The excuse narrative train keeps it going.
Is it an excuse or is it a fact?
My boy Rick says gets it, Shelby.
Rick, nice.
Making North Catholic proud. Yeah, baby, North Catholic alumni. Too much to drink, blood pressure, Tony. Calm down. It's a holiday season. I loved it. This is where I love this quote by Andre. He says, Miami's coach which is Brian Flores, which we love, had quoted a week. I pulled to it because I'm trying to win the game. I don't care who is under center.
Gotta like that.
It gives us the best chance to win.
Gotta like that.
That's exactly what I said. Exactly what I mean.
But that's what Pederson said too, John.
Yeah, Andre, you're right on. Look, at some point, if you're a manager of, I don't care what it is. I don't care if you have to get notepads sold at the register at the door. It's all about getting it done. You have to get it done today, now, this week. You need to win. You're in first place. You gotta win the ball game. All right. So, and it's different when you're dealing with potentially, I mean, we're all coaches. Potentially you're dealing with, kids that you have to deal with. These are all adult grown men. Dude, I'll bring, if I'm the head coach, I'm bringing my 2 quarterbacks in. I'm saying, all right, guys, what are we doing? Look, I know you both want to win the game. Look, Carson, you ain't playing that good. Do you want, what do you think? Look, I want to give you every shot. Go out there in the first half. But look, if we're done, if you're not performing, Jalen, be ready to go in. This is not, and that doesn't mean crap for next week. I don't know what the conversation is, but they're grown men. They all have contracts. Their contracts are there. You got to play to win the game. Period.
Play to win the game. We should have queued that up from Herman Edwards. That's the best.
What's Carson's guaranteed money, Tony? What's Carson's
$59 million dead cap hit if they cut him next year.
Yep.
That's the guaranteed money.
That's
yep.
Yeah.
Dead. Think of that.
So if Jalen Hurts came in, right? Mm-hmm. and he played really well.
Yeah.
And they couldn't go back to Carson. If they don't trade Carson, he's a $34 million backup quarterback.
Yeah.
So do you see why I said they're scared?
They don't
want that, man. I'm telling you.
He's a Chase Daniels on
Tony,
steroids.
that's the
He's
NFL.
a Chase Daniels on roids. That's what that contract is. It's an albatross. Now it's like the worst contract in the league. Could you imagine everybody thinks that's the worst contract in the league? Where is Chase Daniels at? Is he still playing?
He is.
What a bum he was.
I'm just saying, look, that may be the worst contract in the league, but it doesn't matter if you get the wins. It doesn't matter. You deal with the worst contract in the league. Look at Al Horford. That was the worst contract in the league. And
they somehow got rid of I don't know how that guy got rid of that contract.
Yeah, and we'll get to that. No doubt.
No, I can't wait to talk about that.
Yeah, me too.
But the point is, like, worry about later. You got to win the ball game now. Hurts comes in and wins a game. He starts the next game. He wins that game. He doesn't come out until he loses. If he wins 4 games, he has to lose 2 in a row before he comes out. All right,
I don't disagree. But what do you think made them stop running the ball when they had so much success at it? And you know what? Andre brought up an interesting point that run blocking apparently is a lot easier than pass blocking. They say that it is. I don't know. I never touched a football in any type of sport in school or anything. I was the last person to be picked on every team. So believe me, I have absolutely no idea what I'm talking about when it comes to this kind of experience. But from what I've read, it's supposed to be easier. Why did they just stop? Why stop using something that works? I never understood that about Pederson. What is that? It's like Andy Reid stuff.
Andy Reid did the same shit. That's unexplainable. I mean, how do you come up with? They get into a certain part of the field and they go up with their mathematical equation saying our propensity to score is throwing the football here. Well, no, it's not. Run it down their throats until they stop you.
Is that what you think it is? You think they're running the game all through some spreadsheet on Excel? That's what's happening right now? You think the whole game is dictated by this?
Analytics.
I believe analytics has a big part of his play calling. Yeah. He's still a guy that does he scripts the first 10 plays a lot. That's all Andy Reid stuff. So
man, you see the next gen stats popping up.
Yeah, I get it, but you think that they're running it like a model? You think the model spits out all the plays that they should call that have a statistically best chance of winning? Tell me they're not doing that.
All right, so I'll play it to you this way. I believe when they get into the red zone and they dialed in their defense for the week, what they're going up against, statistically, this defense gives up 80% of their pass plays in the red zone. So they're not going to run the ball when that defense doesn't do well against the pass in the red zone. They're going to throw
no question about that. No question about that. Now, I'm sure they have a select play of saying, you know what, these guys are weak in the end zone. They can't cover tight ends. The 5 of my top plays are going to be to the tight end. I get it. But what I'm curious about is if they're letting some sort of an algorithmic play calling thing happen, because nobody can explain the dumb things that the guy does and the things that he calls. Like, no rational coach would call these plays in this order. Yeah, so something seems weird here.
To your credit, now think about it. If he is doing exactly what you think or what we just talked about, instead of coaching the game by feel, like Philly, which the quarterback called and he agreed to, it could be as simple as that. But
quarterback call.
This Eagles season, what has been going on is absolutely the craziest thing that we've ever seen as a fan base. They're 3-6-1 and in first place at the NFC East.
This is crazier than the Ray Rhodes era. This is crazier than the Rich Kotite era for all of the guys that have been watching the Eagles and gals that have been watching the Eagles for that long. This is crazy.
It's crazier than the George Washington area.
Yeah.
This is Jamar checking. It says Jalen has gotten a spark each time, and he is a Heisman finalist and Natty Championship. Basically, Tim Tebow winner is a winner. I agree. All right. I mean, listen.
Is Tebow still in the league?
What's that?
Is Tebow still in the league?
No, he's not. He's not. But I think I don't think he meant that. Al says my boy's on fire today. Love it. Yeah, we love you back, Al. Somebody give Tony a hug. Andre says I'll send in the calm app after the throw. Yeah, Andre says he's fired up and I'm absolutely loving it. I can't help it. I'm in jigsaw mode tonight. Bill says, I got to sign off. Happy Thanksgiving. Say this proudly.
Happy
He's the head
Thanksgiving,
football
Bill.
coach
Yeah.
at Frankfurt High School. Go North Catholic. He is a Bill is a North Catholic alumni, but he's the head coach of Frankfurt High School. And I'll tell you what, to give quick, I don't think he's on. I think he did sign off, but just to give him a quick shout out, he has done tremendous things for the community and those kids of Frankfurt. I'll tell you what, there's a lot. Everybody knows there's a lot of stuff going on in Philly. Gun violence is through the roof. And he absolutely had given up. He gave up his weekends. He opened up the gym for all the kids to have sleepovers with him and, playing video games, pool tables, to keep them occupied, get them off the street and give them something to do.
Amazing.
Great job, Bill.
He's been on the news. Bill's doing
Amazing.
a great job, man.
Thank you, Bill.
Job, man. Amazing job. We need more people like that in this world. Kevin says if Doug calls a play and players get open, Carson looks at the receiver open and doesn't throw it, holds on to the ball and takes a sack. So that's Doug's fault, is what he's asking. See, this is the problem. Here's the one thing I'm going to say. Again, Andre says that must be whiskey, bro. I know he's talking to you, Mike. He knows you're drinking whiskey.
Look, after this week and after this year, this is exactly what this is. And I'm not a spokesperson for Hibiki, Japanese Scotch whiskey, but I will say it is excellent, and I highly recommend you pick up a bottle, Andre, and everybody else.
So here's the other end of the spectrum.
There'll be a sponsor next week.
Yeah, just click the link and use coupon code MikeyGoogs20, and you'll get 20% off your next bottle.
I love it. We're gonna start having that slogan all over. Here's the other end. Here's the other side of this. And again, we're 46 minutes into this. And again, for all the people on Twitter that say this isn't a topic of conversation, look what's going on here, you morons. This is what we're talking about. Okay, so at the end of the day, what happened? See, Dave, you're absolutely right. Who would have thought this is unheard of what's going on with this team, right? But here's the problem. We have the ultimate worst coach to be able to dig us out of it. That's the problem. We have zero confidence. That's the other end of this. So if this team is broken, we're expecting Doug Pederson to turn this thing around? Is that what all our hopes are on Doug Pederson? Seriously, the guy nobody wanted, the guy who doesn't even sound like an NFL football coach standing up at the podium. Okay, the guy who has to, let me think about, stop. That's the guy? We're screwed. We're absolutely screwed.
Tony, no, I got a good question, what I think is a good question for all three of you. Very quick. Would you rather have McVay and Wentz or Pederson and Goff? Because this is what it comes down to. Whatever your answer is going to be who's at fault for the most part.
I'll go first. I'll tell you right now, because I can't stand Doug Pederson. Okay, because he's just stiff. Okay, he is right now. I'm sorry, this is the Doug we knew he was. This is the Doug we knew he was. He's terrible.
He is who we thought he was.
Where's Denny Green? Where's he at? I need Denny Green right now. Okay?
We let him off the hook.
Oh, but anyway, John, give me McDreamy all day long. Give me McVay. I don't care. Give me McVay.
And Wentz. Right.
At least McVay's got some balls.
I don't think he's in McVay. I don't think he's in McVay and Wentz. He's in McVay and Goff. Didn't you?
No, McVay and Wentz or Pederson and Goff.
It's Goff versus Wentz and McVay and Pederson. If you swap them, what pair do you want? So, Dave, do you want Wentz and McVay or Goff with Pederson?
I'm going to
forget what team they're on.
I'm going to take McVay and Wentz, and McVay is a John Gruden disciple, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll take that.
So, and Mike, once again, irrelevant if you're on the Rams or the Eagles. The point is, you have that pairing. Where do you like that pairing better?
When we talked about last week, we were talking about who we would build a coach around. I like McVay. I'm a McVay fan, and I would love to see him with Carson Wentz. I'm not a Goff fan at all, although I still feel he's serviceable. But I would pick Wentz over Goff, and maybe I shouldn't. And maybe I've seen enough from Wentz to not think that way. But I still feel that Wentz could be fixed. I just think whatever's going on is mental, man. So we could say he sucks, he's this and he's that. I just think that there's something not right up there right now, and I don't know.
Well, I agree with you, and that's why I asked the question, because you look at it now. All four of us choose McVay and Wentz over Pederson and Goff. So what does that tell you about the problem with the Philadelphia Eagles? I mean, to me, it's clear as day.
Yeah,
I'm Jeffrey Lurie.
Wow,
Dave's been bashing Lurie from the beginning. I love it.
But do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. We're saying that if Wentz had a better coach, we would take the better coach with Wentz than we would with Goff, who's having a pretty darn good season, and freaking Doug Pederson. So we hate Doug Pederson more than we do Carson Wentz.
And we should.
I like Al's comment right there, Tony. I've been talking about this too.
Yeah, you have.
2017 and 2018, who was Carson Wentz offensive coordinator?
Oh, Tony was waiting for this.
Somebody wake me up.
He was just calmed down now, Dave. You're going to get him started again.
Like
why doesn't it hold any water with you? How come you don't understand consistency with coaching? How come that's hard for you to figure out?
So here's my question. So this guy is that fragile that he can only be coached by one guy. And right? Because the quarterback whisperer, where's DeFilippo at now?
It doesn't. Where's he at? Listen, I don't care.
Where's he at? Nobody wants him. Nobody wants him.
Why can't we take him back?
Consistency.
I have to turn my earbud volume down.
Wait a minute, Dave, hold on. Forgive me if I'm wrong here, but didn't DeFilippo get fired from Jacksonville? They friggin' blow. They blow.
Maybe that's why he got fired. If they kept him, he would have won 7.
You don't even have a job.
Yeah, John.
Was he there? Was he there when they went to the playoffs or no?
What's that?
You talking about my boy Bortles? That's my boy.
Yeah, was DeFilippo there when they went to the playoffs?
No,
he was with us when Bortles was bombing in the fourth quarter. Put up 40 a game in the fourth quarter, and he won me my fantasy league. I love Bortles.
I don't think so.
Look it up, Dave. Tell me.
I'm not looking it up. All I'm telling you is that give me a consistent coaching staff first.
Okay.
Give me a consistent coaching staff.
Let me throw something. And I agree with you, Dave. Consistency is key. No question about it. Let me just throw something out.
Can I say something for 3
Absolutely.
seconds?
No.
I want to throw a scenario past you guys. It's my turn to ask a question.
Steelers suck.
No.
Yeah.
Consistent. You guys are wasting my 3 seconds. Consistent coaching staff happens when you have a consistent quarterback. Go ahead, Mike.
That's a good point.
Stop it.
No, you know what? Now you made me forget what I was going to ask. Oh no, sorry, I got it.
Dumbest thing I ever heard.
No, that's a good point. Okay, so we've talked for weeks about how bad it is, and we just get on this roll, right? Because we all vent and we're emotional. All right, so let's look at the problem like something that we need to fix. That we're consultants, we were brought in to fix it. What do we do for next year? Let's just forget about whatever is going to happen this year. What could we do? Should Doug bring in an offensive coordinator? And if he does bring in an offensive coordinator, who should it be, right? What about the quarterback's coach? What should we do there, right? Let's just say that he's made the decision that he's going to go with Wentz. He's going to stick with Wentz. What should be fixed in order to right the ship just from a quarterback coaching offensive perspective? Never mind the injuries. Let's not even talk about it.
No.
What do we do?
So first thing you have to do is you have to figure out, just like you said, Mike, are you saying there's no hurts involved in the situation?
Well, I think he's made that pretty clear. All right. So Pederson has made his mind up, and unless that Jeffrey Lurie comes down and changes his mind, because Lurie does that sometimes to him, I think that he's decided he's going to go with Wentz for better or for worse. Now we have Carson Wentz.
Okay. So I'm going to take this. I'm going to take this even deeper. Okay, I'm going to take this even deeper. Let me ask you guys this question based off what you just said, Mike. So if we're looking at 2021. If Pederson wants to be that ignorant, okay, to the fact that his quarterback is a sinking ship right now, and he doesn't want to put Jalen Hurts in, right? So say we get like a top 3 pick because we suck so bad. Now we're not even looking at quarterback. Maybe so if a quarterback dropped to us in a draft, now we can't even look at him. Oh no, we can't look at him. Okay, because now you don't even know what you have with the guy you drafted last year. So this is my point. You're not doing your due diligence as an organization to at least find out, if you have something, because you damn well could have a top 3 pick in the draft this year.
All right, you know what? You're right. Now, guess what? What if everything you just said is right? And what if they know Hurts is good? And what if they know they're done with Wentz and they're just saying whatever they can say to get through the rest of the season because they know they're going to suck and they're going to draft high and they're going to go right after a killer quarterback? We're throwing all kinds of crazy scenarios out right now. Who knows? I mean, that's possible. Maybe they just know Hurts can play and they've seen enough, and they don't want to put him in the middle of that shit show. It's possible. Sorry, kid show.
I don't know, man. I just, my thing is once and for all. Well, that's why I want Hurts to go in. I'm not saying I want Hurts. Again, everybody looks at it saying I'm out on Wentz. I'm not. What I'm saying is it's your job as a head coach to win football games.
Let's see what we got under the hood. I get it. Right? You're right.
That's all. So my thought process is why now? Why not now? You have nothing to lose. Zero. You have zero to lose to find out if this kid has something. And maybe Carson does just need a mental break. Maybe he needs to sit down. Maybe he needs that. We've heard that he's been stubborn. We've heard that he doesn't want to change. He said it himself every press conference. I'm not changing. Okay, great, Carson. Don't change. You've been friggin' terrible all year, so keep being terrible, right? Don't change, right? So if that's the case, maybe he needs a wake-up call. Maybe he's too stable right now. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe he doesn't have to look over his shoulder because they got rid of Nick Foles, right? And I hate Nick Foles. He sucks too. Okay, but Nick Foles supposedly was the cop of go. I just can't help it. This guy's a statue. Nick Foles has a statue for Christ's sake.
He is a statue.
Statue. Nick Foles. Ridiculous. But anyway.
You had to convince Ricky Bobby that he wasn't paralyzed. Okay, it's the same thing. You have to convince you have to convince Carson Wentz that he can throw the ball and complete a pass in a tight window. This dude, dude,
I need a drink.
Mark
says get younger on the offensive line.
Yeah, I mean they could have drafted an offensive lineman, but they drafted Jalen Hurts, and they did draft Andre Dillard. What's your thoughts on Dillard, Tone?
Listen, I think he's soft. I do. I think you're watching again. You're watching a guy that you're hoping he's just not it. I listen. I know he got hurt this year, but sorry, he was a turnstile out there, and you can say whatever you want, but you're either good or you don't just automatic. Listen, here's the problem. It's different. Like Dave's boy Mailata. Here's a kid who's never played football before, right? So you give him that time. You're saying, listen, guy don't even know footwork. He doesn't know hand motions. He doesn't know anything. So you're willing to say he's a project. You draft the guy in the first round. If he can't play, he's never going to be able to play. Sorry, he's done.
Yeah, you should have a project in the first round.
No projects. That means you drafted the wrong guy again. Sorry, drafted the wrong guy.
So Tony. I agree with about 70% of the stuff you talked about tonight. But here's the point, and I do agree with this.
Dude, my mouth hurts.
You need, and this goes back to giving John credit. Ertz needs to get on the field and play to see what we got. And then Mike, I'll bring you into this. You put a great play on words with what if we were the people that fix all this stuff? So if we are the people that fix all this stuff, we have to do what Tony and John said. Ertz has to play. If he can play in this league and he can win you games and he has a future, then you got to get rid of, somehow trade Carson Wentz. But before you do all that, you asked if Doug Pederson is staying. There's so many variables involved, and this is my point about this whole program. If Doug Pederson is staying and he's your guy, you're the boss of him, Mike. Don't you want to make Doug comfortable and let Doug pick his OC, his quarterback coach? And they didn't allow him to do that. They did not allow him to do that. Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie picked his guys for him that are coaching Carson right now.
That's a great point. And nobody's talking about that.
They don't listen to me.
Everybody seemed to forget about that Lurie basically came down and made that decision. And we don't know if Roseman was involved, but I'm sure it was because they're buddies. And I'm sure that Lurie doesn't do anything without talking to Roseman. Roseman's got that kind of power in the Eagles organization. So if they did do that, it certainly makes sense. And now maybe Pederson's looking at Lurie saying, dude, you pulled away the staff that I wanted. I mean, you intervened. I mean, I can't see Pederson saying anything like that. I think Pederson's a very yes man. I think he's a yes sir. I would hope that he would be standing up for saying, or maybe he doesn't need to say anything at all because of the results have just been completely disastrous. And, maybe they're just putting Wentz and saying, look, we're going to fight through the rest of the year. I don't have the support system we need. But I guess the story is going to be told in the offseason, Dave. Because if they start making moves on the coaching system and they throw out these other guys that Lurie basically, when Lurie intervened in a very important decision and they make changes and stuff like that, I mean, it's going to be pretty obvious that Pederson really didn't want these guys to begin with. He had his own staff picked, and they were told that he wasn't coming back. I mean, the whole thing is just a complete debacle. I mean, we'll never really know the truth.
And on the field, it looks just like, and I've been pretty consistent with this. What you see on the field is what you're getting in the office.
And
for sure.
Speaking of which, I get to Andre first. Andre says Wentz had the same guy who tried to fix Markelle Fultz's jump shot. Stop. Wentz needs to put his big boy pants on and play like a good NFL quarterback. Enough. I agree. Al's got a good point here, and I'll agree with this. Listen, again, this is just like some shows where Tony just runs things, and I don't agree. This isn't an excuse, but take a look. 85% of the starting quarterbacks in the NFL have a number one wide receiver. We don't. A person a quarterback can count on. Listen, Al, I agree. But what I will ask the masses of Eagle fans and moronic analysts who think they know, they told me Travis Fulgham was an elite wide receiver.
Who told you that?
Right. Hold on. Not you, Dave. You know that. But I'm saying this is what they could say. Zach Ertz is elite, I've heard. Dallas Goedert's the second coming. Okay, and I hear Jalen Reagor, you're crazy. Did you watch him at TCU? You went to TCU, cuz. Stop. Okay, TCU. All right, and then I get to hear about, right, we already know about Alshon, right? He sucks. I heard about Deshaun. Okay, he's hurt. Okay, wow. But then I heard about Fulgham. He is the real deal. What a steal. Oh, my God, this guy is elite. Well, those same people are the same people telling me now, well, Carson needs help. Why does he need help? But no, Al, I know that's not you. But no, I agree. Listen, they paid the wrong guy in Alshon. Okay, and I go back to this again. Al, go back. I want everybody to do me a favor. Okay, who's listening to this show. I got a memory. I can tell you what I wore in 8th grade. Alshon Jeffrey, when he signed in Philadelphia, he said his exact words was, "This is a stepping stone." That's what he said. This is a stepping stone. He signed here the 1-year deal, remember? Because nobody wanted to give him a big money deal.
Right.
He signed here to get paid and do shit. And that's what he did.
You're right.
He got paid and did nothing. Mm-hmm. Hurt, doesn't want it. Then he popped off, had the thing with Josina, right? All these things come into play. So again, paid the wrong guy. Deshaun Jackson traded for him and then gave him a 3-year deal. Paid the wrong guy. We can't draft a wide receiver because we always draft the wrong guys, right? We always draft the wrong guys. So, yeah, Carson, but I will say one thing. I was told by everybody that Zach Ertz was a number one tight end. Zach Ertz was elite. Zach Ertz, who caught how many? Over 100 balls from Carson Wentz. So that's pretty much his number one guy, in my opinion, for Carson Wentz. So,
that was his reliable.
Right?
That was his
reliable guy.
Sure. Definitely
does
was.
He have him this year? Not exactly, right? Not exactly.
He's doing that on purpose
and he backs
too.
Up. Wentz in his 5th season. Eagles haven't gotten him enough. It's disgraceful. But Al, and I let the boys talk because I know I'm being commanding. I'm very sorry. I have so much.
Don't apologize, man. You're on a roll. Get it out.
Here's the thing.
We should apologize. It's Thanksgiving.
We're talking about Thanksgiving right now. Okay?
Talk to us, Tony. Talk to us. We're here for you.
Who else? That statement that Al just said, and I don't want to rehash and get into a big conversation. We talked about this last week. Wentz in his 5th season. Eagles haven't gotten a number one yet. Disgraceful. Well, same thing was said about Donovan McNabb. That's all I'm going to say.
That's where I was going to go. We've been there before on previous shows, and we talked about the whole stiff list with Torrance Small and James Thrash and Todd Stinkston and all the rest of these bums that McNabb did things that, man, I'm so sorry I bashed McNabb. You know what? I'm going to take this time to personally apologize to Donovan McNabb if you're watching this. If you are, it's pretty freaking cool if you are. I'm very, very sorry, McNabb. I was very hard on you. You did amazing things and you had literally nothing. So maybe that's it. Maybe we're all making a unfair comparison because of the things that McNabb was able to do. And maybe he gets a pass on the half of the side of the fans that think that he really needs number one, being Al included, and me sort of on that side. It would be nice to have a number one, but to your point, Tone, that his number one, I think, really was Zach Ertz. Zach Ertz was the reliable guy,
Yes.
And that was always his guy. And when Zach Ertz is out, I would be interesting to see the data on how Carson Wentz does from a win and loss perspective when he doesn't play with Zach Ertz. Very curious about that.
Al says Ertz is great tight end, but he isn't a wide receiver. Yeah, but again,
I agree with you, Tony. Ertz is not elite, though. I understand what your point was. That whole
he was at one point.
He wasn't as good as a Travis Kelce or
George Kittle.
You're telling me the year that he caught 100 balls, you wouldn't say that he was a top 3 tight end. I mean, he had an amazing season.
By numbers.
The only reason why they don't call him elite is because he can't throw a block, right? Is that what it is? Because he runs a route sort of like a hybrid.
His run after catch isn't the same as Kelce.
Yeah, I think his yak is like a 1.8.
That's right. He used to fall to the ground all the time. I forgot about that. Yeah. Zach would catch it and just tumble on the ground immediately.
Yeah.
I completely forgot about that.
I'm going to disagree with you, Dave. I don't think it was I think Kelce does a better job getting open. Ertz was in the seam where he was actually getting looked at frequently, looking at Ertz in the middle. I think Kittle is just a whole. I mean, they roll him out wide. I mean, he's
Kittle
literally
and Kelce. They're freakish athletes, right?
Yeah, but Shanahan.
Yes, but Kittle. To me, Kittle is more of a wide receiver. I'm saying if you take the 3 of them, Kittle is more of a receiver than Kelce. Kelce is a tight end, big body frame that can do what he wants, but I feel like Kittle is more nimble.
Al says Ertz is a top 3 tight end, no doubt.
That's what I think.
I disagree.
Think he's right. I mean, I think he was. I don't think he is now, but I think he definitely was.
Right. He's holding out right now. I believe he is holding out on purpose.
It may be a little bit. Too. Yeah, for sure. And that's just really bad. That really says a lot about his character because he was really loved in the city of Philadelphia. And for him to go and do that, it's terrible. I mean, should they have paid him when they're giving out big money to Alshon Jeffrey and they're giving out money to Deshaun Jackson? And here's Zach Ertz. He put all this work in. He's probably like, "Where's my contract?"
What's it?
He declined 2.
Yeah, he did. You're right. I forgot about that.
He declined 2.
That was dumb, Ertz. You're stupid. Fire your agent.
What's a chance that Ertz goes to Chicago?
I forgot about that, Tom. Completely dumb.
Oh, with Foles in Chicago? That's a good one, John.
Foles, yeah.
Now they got Jimmy Graham out there.
And Cole Kmet.
Is he still playing, Jimmy Graham?
Actually, no, he won't even go to Chicago.
He's not still in the league.
He's going to go.
Is he really? I forgot about him.
Yeah. He's going to go to wherever Foles goes next.
Tight ends last long, huh? How long did Antonio Gates last? He lasted, 13, 14 seasons?
God, he had like the biggest ass in football. Him and Algie Crumpler. I don't even know how they ran.
Algie Crumpler. That was like my go-to fantasy tight end for years.
Yep. Yeah, they both had a lot of junk in the trunk right there, bro. Seriously, I don't know how they ran.
PPR Platinum League.
Remember when Crumpler got popped by Brian Dawkins in that game?
Remember, I watched that clip 1,000 times. He got destroyed.
Unbelievable. Andre says Kelce and Kittle are yak producers. Ertz is a fall after catch player. He's Chad Lewis.
He's a fact.
Remember Chad fall down Chad? Yeah. Every time Chad caught a ball, he fell down. Every time.
Chad Lewis. Yeah. Okay, so you know why there's another feather in McNabb's cap. Look, McNabb gets he got all that production out of people like Chad Lewis
and Jeff Thomason. Check that out.
The T remember when Thomason got the call for the Super Bowl? What was he doing? What was he? He was like, was he working? Wasn't he working at Home Depot or something? He was
working with Doug at ShopRite. He was groceries.
Everybody comes up with those stories like, oh, when they called Kurt Warner, he was in ShopRite bagging groceries.
And it's so like elaborate too. Yeah, Kurt Warner was actually he had a can of candy sweet potatoes and he was putting it in my bag and he was like, stop.
Oh yeah, and then his agent called and said, I'm sorry, I can't finish stocking the shelf. I got to go play. I got to go play in the Super Bowl. Like, who makes this crap up?
I just got a call by Dick. He gave me a call.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Kurt Warner's like, Why have to bag? Like, what? You don't trust me to run the register?
Yeah, this is bullshit.
NFL offenses, but they don't trust him on the register.
Exactly. I can run the greatest show on turf. You don't trust me behind the register.
Like $1.29 and $1.39. Meanwhile, the computer's doing it for him. Really? If I'm a bad guy, you're not up to that level.
Exactly. If I could call an audible to Marshall Falk, okay, I know how to stack the peaches and run the register. So don't talk to me about that, buddy.
Oh my God.
Dude,
that never happened.
I swear to goodness, I went to the grocery store the one day. He bagged my stuff. He put the bread in the bottom and the watermelon on top.
Oh,
I was like, dude, I'm like, come on.
Did he really? Wait. He
and then he went on to win a Super Bowl.
He puts the bread at the bottom and the watermelon on top?
Oh, well, that's what he was.
Who would do that?
As a quarterback, he was better.
So the bread was smashed too. That's like useless.
One of my favorites. Go ahead,
NFL was totally different when McNabb played. We all wanted him to get a number one then, but now it's a must. You have to have it. You have to have more than one. You have to have two.
Yeah, one might not be enough, Al.
Yeah, one might not be enough. I mean, look at the again. I hate to say it, but look at the Seattle Seahawks who come in here this week, and we're going to get killed.
That's going to be a complete massacre.
Oh, are you kidding?
Eagles win this week.
I'll be half a bottle in by halftime. That's for sure.
Monday night too. They got
the line on the game.
What's
37.5?
No, I want another line because you know what? I think I want to go solo against all three of you against the line.
Really?
All right.
Win.
We got something. What was that?
Eagle. All right. Okay, Dave. You're.
So you wait a minute. So who thinks the Eagles are going to win?
I'm not going win. I'm going spread because I'm not so confident that they're going to win.
Well,
but I don't think it's going to be a debacle. I really don't.
The spread is 5, but I'll give you one better, Dave.
Only 5?
Yeah, it's 5. The Eagles will lose. The Eagles will lose, and the final snap for the Eagles will be taken by Jalen Hurts.
Ooh, that's a bold statement. Are we laying action on that, or are we just laying action on the actual
night stage? Jalen Hurts enters the game in the second half.
So not only is Carson Wentz going to be pulled, but he's going to be pulled on national TV with the whole world watching, the whole country watching.
Yes.
Now that's a bold statement.
Yes,
that's a bold statement.
I'm going on
real quick before we go into another wager because this is pretty interesting. Did you guys make do on the bet that you had last week? Like, what happened there?
I forgot about the bet.
Yeah, there was a cheesesteak involved, and Uber Eats, and something else.
Was that last week or 2 weeks ago?
Whatever it was. Yeah, whatever it was. I don't think you guys ever even talked about what happened.
Well, you know what? It's just not the same with COVID. Like, I want to, you know what I mean? Like, it's not the same. Like, I want to go hang out.
It's either that or, Tony knows he didn't want to research because I won.
Well, you can't hang out now. Can't hang out now.
Look at that.
Did he welch on you, John?
My boy Mark texts and says, here comes a back injury like 2018 for Carson. I'm telling you, man, I have a feeling. Listen, I'm telling you, I'm like Phoebe from Charmed. Remember that show Charmed with the 3 witches? She had premonition. Well, my premonition says that.
No, Tony, we don't remember.
Phoebe, what the what?
Dude, I'll tell you what. Sometimes when he gets into his TV shows,
are you into that? You're into the sitcoms? Charmed. Is that the one with Alyssa Milano? I remember it.
Series whore, bro.
Was she in that?
Yes.
Mikey Googs. I don't know if you know this about Tony, but he really creeped me out. He started going into some shows that he watched. I'm like, dude, this is really
Grey's
weird.
Anatomy? Love Grey's Anatomy. What's wrong
with
else?
That? What else? Grey's Anatomy.
My wife loves Grey's Anatomy, and I'd say I'm going to go put my anatomy to bed tonight.
Chicago Fire. What else? Okay, so Tony's into the sitcoms.
I do the Chicago's.
Okay. So what's wrong with that? The only little Grays?
I think you got freaked out with the whole Charm thing.
You were talking about some. No, you went.
What was he saying? Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
Don't start talking about like Chicago Fire versus Charmed. Okay.
Yeah. My boy,
dude, you tried smoothing that in there like it was just like a normal progression.
Well, maybe we need to dedicate a show and do an excerpt on, strange TV shows that we've all admitted watching, because you're watching that stuff that you probably shouldn't be watching, and you're just like, oh, this is so dumb, but I watch it anyway because I kind of like it. We kind of come up with a couple. That could be
like our stiff list when we did the ultimate stiff list.
Exactly.
We are the stiffs.
We are the stiffs.
Stiff of the week.
Stiff of the week.
So Tony says Jalen Hurts will be in before the end of the game. He will actually finish the Eagles game. Very, very bold statement. Dave, do we want to lay some action on this? Do we want to lay a Steve steak or how about a bag of Center City pretzels? Or let's do something like let's do something good.
Sounds great.
There we go. So who's going to take the action on the Eagles winning and covering outright or just covering?
What's happening? Outright.
Wow.
I wanted you to take that action, Mike.
I'm not taking that action.
We're
don't sucker me into this.
Duke starts off. Look, we got Nick checking in with All American is the best right now. That's a great show. Love All American.
Saved by the Bell.
Rick.
See, we all have them, Rick. Thank you for admitting that. All right.
Saved by the Bell.
Thank you, Rick.
Classic.
Ready? We all know that we've thought about Kelly Kapowski.
Oh,
right. We all know, and Jessica Spano. Okay, yeah, I know the names.
John Smirkin, he must know. I never watched Saved by the Bell, so I don't know what you're talking about. I know Screech. Mars, I know who they are.
AC Slater, Mr. Belding, and Lauren, Lisa Turtle. Lisa Turtle.
They're probably still getting royalty checks from that show.
Yes. Yes,
and rightfully so.
Look at Nick, our boy Nick Crisco. Check it. He's Federal Donuts.
He's right. Federal Donuts is the best donut in Philly. There's no question. It's not even close. And your boy Dave Portnoy was there the other day, and he just gave it a 9.8.
I have a maybe the best donut in Philly, but Yum Donuts are pretty good.
Nobody tops Yum Yums.
Where's Yum Yums at? Is that Northeast?
Yeah, no, it's in Warminster.
Yum
Donuts.
Huh?
There's two of them, I think, right, Dave? Where's the other one at?
I'm not sure where the other one is, but
I know
the White Lightnings.
White Lightning.
What's in the White Lightning? That sounds friggin' amazing. By the way, what is that?
It's like a carnival for your taste buds.
It sure sounds like it.
Yeah, wait.
A White Lightning.
Wow.
Al's like, bro, how do you know the names? He's talking about. He's asking me about Saved by the Bell. I tell you, Al, my memory. I'm telling you, man, my memory is crazy. I'll tell you right now, not to joke, but dead serious. Like, I'll know one day if I have a brain tumor because I won't remember shit. Like, I remember everything.
I guess there could be worse things in life.
And every day we just have to ask Tony, like, who is Kelly Kapowski? As long as he answers yes or something or smart.
Saved by the Bell.
I know. Yeah, and ready for this one, Dave? Ready? And Al, if you're listening, I still remember the big fat coach, Mr. Tuttle, which was the teacher, Mr. Tuttle, who drove around it. Right? I still remember Mr. Tuttle.
When Al said, bro, how do you know the names? I thought he meant Dave. How do you know the name of the donuts when he said White Lightning? That's what I thought he was talking about.
Yeah. Well, they have White Lightning and Chocolate Thunder.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want 40 of each now.
We got to send them to you, Mike. We got to send them to you.
You definitely do.
Oh, they're amazing. They're
I'm
amazing.
sure.
But listen, let's turn this conversation a little bit. All right, we talked enough. An hour and 17 minutes. Okay, we give you all. Listen, we gave you all our opinions. We vented. We're still going to have date. This is a Monday Night Football game, so it's going to even be worse because we get to watch everybody be successful on Sunday and Thursday, and then Monday we're going to watch an atrocity, which is going to be ridiculous. But anyway.
We should, you know what we should do, man? We should watch the game and stream it live so everybody could see our reactions and just during the whole game.
You know
we really should do that.
Carson throws 4
why don't we just watch the game live and stream it and just so everybody can see what we do during the game? You know what? I don't think that's a good idea.
No, I like it.
Not for me.
I like it a lot. I do.
As long as I can shut the camera off during like when things happen, I'll shut the camera off and then I'll mute and then I'll throw shit throughout the house and then I'll turn the camera back on. But we should do that. That would be
ratio viewing party.
You know what else we should do? We should double box in someone getting their tooth extracted without Novocaine. Because that's going to be the same damn story.
It could be actually. You know what? It could be worse.
We should have like something that's better.
Yeah, let's do
something
positive.
better.
Let's do it positive.
Daryl Morey for the Philadelphia 76ers is already a legend.
Already.
Right? Already a legend. And let me listen. Daryl Morey has a plan. Daryl Morey, for what he was able to do on draft day, like, it's ridiculous, right? No matter what, you know what people don't understand. And again, people are morons. Okay, morons. Sweet. Oh, what a ridiculous trade we get. Do you understand what he was able to do with Al Horford? You understand? Not only did he get a shooter, okay? Not only did he get a shooter, but he got a guy on the last year of his contract, an expiring contract. And you both, all three of you guys, as well as Andre and Al, who are basketball guys, Heat Ratio Sports, we all know that an expiring NBA contract is like a first round gold mine. Okay. He was able to get that and a shooter and get rid of the horrible contract to Al Horford. It's ridiculous. And his sister too, which I don't know if you've seen that.
What is that? What is that?
What
is she involved for?
Dude, I'm sorry. You caught me when you said and his sister too.
Why is Al Horford's sister managing his social media? What is that? Why is she tweeting based on Al Horford?
Oh my God! Like, seriously, like,
God, I hated that guy when he was at Celtics, when he used to destroy Embiid, and I can't stand him even more now.
Yeah.
Go, thank God, get out, go away. Friggin' bum. I used to hate the way he used to manhandle Embiid. I hated that.
Yeah, come on, Andre. Give it to us. I got an Anna Horford story.
All right, now you got to talk, Andre. Let's hear it.
So as we're waiting that, you look at what he did. He takes, number one, we say gets rid of Al Horford. The one guy who we said, all right, was a bad deal, was able to turn that into Danny Green, Terrence Ferguson. Okay, Danny Green, expiring contract, still a shooter. He's still a shooter. Then he's able to grab Seth Curry, okay, which, again, I know it's not Steph, but this guy shot 43% from three. He knows how to shoot the ball. He's Dell's boy. He's Dell's son.
That's
he can
right.
Shoot the ball. Right?
That's right.
And he's on an $8 million contract. Okay, so they just cleared $40 million of cap room in two moves, right?
Crazy.
And they draft Maxey from Kentucky. And whenever you listen, and all you guys know this, especially. Here's what I love about the pick. Tyrese Maxey, which I love about it, is this is a year where basketball stopped. There wasn't a lot of scouts, right? There wasn't a lot of so what do you do in that perspective? You say, let me stick to the programs that I know produce winners, produce players. You draft a kid from Kentucky, right? You draft a kid from Kentucky, which he dropped a little bit, and you jumped on him, you stomped, and you grabbed him. And listen, I'm excited. I am. I'm excited. If you see this kid's story, if you watch them play, again, another guy they drafted, Isaiah Joe, is a shot creator. I know he's a second-round pick, okay? But, again, we've watched in the NBA, second-round picks mean something. They do. If you can hit right on the head, and especially this year, because nobody really knows. We're going to look back on this draft 4 years from now and be like, wait, where was that guy drafted? Where would I mean, it was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Al says the clueless moron said we were trading for an old shooter. Shake my head. Exactly, Al. I completely agree. Andre said he can't tell stories for Heat Ratio after dark. So I like that. I can't wait for that one.
Andre, send me some pictures, please.
No, I better be on Heat Ratio.
Whoa.
Where'd this go? This took a turn. Hey, we're gonna, Dave. Don't worry.
Don't send them to me, Andre. Do not.
We're gonna talk doggy style later, Dave. Don't worry. We'll be on.
World.
All right. So Tone.
Morey. Let's go more with the Sixers.
All right. Let me ask you this, Dave. I'm going to throw a question at you. Should Elton Brand be thanking Daryl Morey?
Yeah, he just saved his job basically. He made Elton Brand's mistakes go away completely. And what I like about the draft pick, and this isn't typical in Philly sports, we actually drafted a position of need. And we need a shooter. And this kid can do more than just his defensive ability is outstanding as well.
Outstanding.
But we just acquired 3 shooters on a team that what do we need? Shooters. Yeah. Yes. So, I mean, how do you not applaud that? And the axing of the cap space. Holy Moses, that was unbelievable. Unbelievable. And they gave us cash. The one, the Al Horford deal, I think the part of that is they gave us money too. And I don't know how that works to our benefit. Obviously, it sounds all well and good, but somehow we relieved cap space and we acquired money on top of players.
They said they couldn't rebuild the roster without having to trade either Simmons or Embiid. And I know that I've been obviously very critical on Simmons because I'm an old school guy when it comes to the NBA. I just don't realize sometimes the value that he definitely brings. And I just, the frustration with the whole Kardashian thing threw me off with this guy. I mean, I just told you, it's just, but he's so young and he has potential. And now that he's got Doc Rivers and now he's got, this statistical brain, which I don't know if you guys know, but Daryl Morey he's got a degree. He's got an MBA from MIT. Like, they don't hand those out to any idiot, okay? That's for sure. I mean, this guy's a friggin' brainiac. Now, don't get me wrong. We've seen his success and what he's been able to do, but this guy is Moneyball, statistical driven all of the way, right? And I feel like the adults are back in charge with the Sixers. I mean, I think it's a fantastic move. What I question though is how long is Elton Brand going to be around? Because I don't see it fitting. I see him coming in. I see him bailing him out. I don't see Elton Brand here. Those were really bad deals. He didn't do very well for us at all. Not yet. So I don't see him being a long-term part of this whole Sixers equation. But there's so much positive stuff now because now they've put shooters around what we've been missing the whole time. I mean, the last true shooter that we've really had, or at least catch and shooter, was JJ Redick. And now that we have this upgraded squad, it's really excited to see what they're going to bring because with Doc Rivers leading the charge and maybe he can get these two kids to finally play and get on the same page. I mean, top three in the East, right? I mean, you have to be. Sure.
No, I'm not going to, not yet.
What do you think? Top five?
I think we're still 5 or 6.
Middle of the road.
Middle of the road. Well, I mean, look, there's a lot to be said, but it's super, super exciting for Philadelphia sports.
It is.
What's your starting five? Dude, tell me your starting five.
It's tough, man. I mean, right now, I guess you have to put Curry in your starting five, right? I mean, the way this team is constructed, the way it's going to be constructed. I mean, obviously, it's Ben and it's Joe and it's Toby, right? It's Tobias. Do I dare say is it Danny Green or is it Matisse? Does Matisse get elevated into the starting role? Who would you rather come off the bench, Danny Green or Matisse Thybulle? I mean, that Curry's going to be a starter. Okay, he's going to be a starter.
Probably.
Right, but that fifth guy, you don't know who that's going to be. But one thing I will say, Dave, is interesting, and Mike alluded to it when he started talking about the shooters. And if you think about the kind of players that they drafted in Isaiah Joe and Tyrese Maxey, and you think about the kind of guys they signed and traded for, even Terrence Ferguson will play a nice role off the bench, right? And again, they traded Zaire Smith. Let's talk about that move too. They traded Zaire Smith, who they should never traded Mikal Bridges when they drafted him.
Oh, God. I was going to talk about that. I'm going to have to drink the rest of the bottle. Oh, God. That was horrible.
So they trade him for, Tony Bradley, a backup center, which, okay, you need somebody backing up. But they're starting to eerily remind me of the way the Celtics are constructed. And again, and what I mean by that is the Celtics go like 8-9 deep. And they have tough guys. They have shooters. They always have somebody coming off the bench, all different sizes. And again, it's almost like what I see, and I think it's great.
Right.
But I still don't think they're done. I know we're so focused on Ben and Joe being together. I know Al's going to kill me for this, and Andre's going to kill me for this, but I would still move Ben. I'm sorry. I would still move Ben. I would move Ben for a drop dead scorer, man. I would still move him for Harden. I would still move him for Beal. I would still
Beal. You'd move him for Beal.
Yes, I would. I would move Ben Simmons for Bradley Beal.
Bold.
Because I know. Here's my issue. And again, and I said, this is going to backtrack a little bit into what we didn't get into. We don't really. I'm just going to mention it. But prayers go out. Klay Thompson, second ACL surgery, sucks.
Jeez,
right, one
terrible.
of the best pure shooters ever that we have seen, and who knows if he's ever going to be right. And that just shows you time is now, not 5 years from now, No, tomorrow's not guaranteed. So my thing is, if I have a chance, and I'm not saying it can, but if I have a chance, to tell me that this team right now, as constructing, I don't know what Ben gives me offensively. We don't know. And we know, you see this draft. This draft was so different than the big guys are going last because it's yesterday's NBA. And today's NBA is all guards, all shooting guards, all shooters, right? So if you tell me I can take Ben out and insert somebody that's guaranteed 25, 30, or 35 a game, I'm doing it every day of the week. Every day of the week, because that to me, you ask me, where we at? I say 5 or 6. If you extract Ben and insert Harden, extract Ben, insert Booker, extract Ben, insert Beal, and I'm just saying names. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying that kind of player, if that's available, we're instantly a top 2 team in the East. Instantly. But we're not right now. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, agreed. Everything you said, agreed. Question. Can Zaire Smith play? Does nobody know?
I don't think he can. I don't think he can.
I'm just curious.
League, and then he did some issues, like he had the injury, and then he got
some with his foot, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Now see, Al says a 31-year-old Harden doesn't. I don't agree with that. I don't. Listen, I still think if you insert James Harden into this team instead of Ben Simmons, you instantly win 7, 8 more games.
So you're going the Kawhi Leonard angle that you're talking about, right?
7, 8 more championships.
What's that, John?
I thought you were going to say 7, 8 more championships.
No.
We'll take one.
Now, Al, I respect the hell out of your basketball knowledge. That's why I'm asking you. When you say guarantee you anything, are you talking? I think he does. I mean, this guy is statistically and I mean consistently averaged 36.5, 36.6 for the last 4 years.
Yeah, he's just insane.
31-year-olds are not. And he actually would have to do less on the Sixers than he's done previously because he has a guy like Joe down low.
Maybe. And then you saw Jimmy Butler thinking the same thing, and then he basically had to take over because everybody stopped playing. Let's not forget about all that.
That's a different player, though. Jimmy Butler is a different kind of alpha dog. Jimmy Butler is right. He's not a shooter. Jimmy Butler's a scorer.
But you know what? But I also think it's a different type of person too. Jimmy Butler is a wide receiver. And James Harden is a running back or quarterback that, look, there's no question Jimmy Butler wants to win, but I still feel that he's in that receiver category,
right?
Like a little bit of limelight. You know what I mean? I'm not saying he's a bad player at all. And there's a ton of receivers in the NFL. Like, it's not like they're bad guys by any means. But there are some divas, and Jimmy Butler is not a diva. That is not what I'm saying. But there's just something to be said. I don't know.
It's not what you're saying, but what are you telling us then? I mean, it's what was the problem, or what was Jimmy Butler? I don't know.
Jimmy Butler didn't want to be there, and I don't think that James Harden really cares.
Okay, so all right, so I equate to Butler not being here was because of the coaching staff too.
Well, whatever it is,
he didn't want to be here. That's for sure.
I'm saying Jimmy Butler. It's not diva. It's like any grown man that is looking for a job. Like, you have to find a job, or you want that job that you are going to be great at. You know what I mean? Jimmy Butler, look, he had a job with the Sixers. Like, he was not happy with the workforce and wanted to go somewhere else. James Harden, I don't know. I feel like wherever he goes, he's going to make up his own environment.
Yeah, dude, he's a Butler, man. He's going to suck the ball up. Al brings up a great question. Can Harden think about getting JoJo the ball the first always? You know that's not going to happen. That is never going to happen.
No, not getting it to JoJo. No.
But see, here's the thing, though. Again, you're the one element that we're forgetting about is the head coach.
Doc
This isn't Brett Brown anymore, right?
Yeah,
this is
so we don't know if Joe's a number one feed the ball
Exactly.
of offense.
Dude,
we don't.
Once again, look, you guys are going to go into it. Give me 8 seconds. Dude, seriously, like if it was Al Horford gone and the guys coming in and what they have, like seriously, like it took Morey to come in and not Brett Brown. Like we mentioned Brett Brown, an issue for 2 years.
Longer than that.
But now it's so clear. It's like none of this was a burden. Yeah, I got rid of Al Horford. I bring in these guys and nobody branked the bank. Like it's
Yeah, but he was skilled. Dude, it's Daryl Morey. He brings something different. This guy is he's cut from a different cloth. They brought the right guy in to handle it. It's a pretty amazing move from the Sixers.
Yes.
Well, they overpaid for Doc. They overpaid for Morey, and they had to, right?
Who cares?
Right? No, I don't care. That's what I'm saying.
The owners are dedicated to winning. There's no question about that. No question.
But the best thing about these moves is that these owners, it sure seems like if they paid that amount of money, are going to allow these guys to just do what they need to do and stop stepping in.
Yes, they're not. They're definitely writing checks, and they're putting good people in their cabinet, so to speak.
Yes.
Right.
So Tony, remember the old shtick here with these owners is that they were too buddy with Embiid and Simmons.
Yeah, that's
right.
And that was part of the story was letting the inmates run the asylum. Right?
Yes.
So now you're going to see Embiid and Simmons being coached and being held accountable a different way. That's what we're sold on, right?
So you're going to see owners like Michael Rubin not spending half of his time on Instagram with Meek Mill and Joel Embiid, like playing Mr. Celebrity, and he's just going to step aside and let the coaches run. I don't know.
Well,
that's not Rubin's style.
This is what we're being sold on now, right?
I guess.
You just paid big money for Doc Rivers and Moyer and this guy running the program. And the problem before, or one of the issues before was, like I said, the inmates are running the asylum. That's why Butler was blaming what's his name? Our coach, who was our last coach?
Brett Brown, Stiff.
Yeah, Brett Brown. That he wasn't holding these guys accountable.
Maybe, but again, you had the owner in there, and the owner is buddy with a lot of these guys because that's the way Michael Rubin rolls. He's a big time baller. He likes hanging out with the players and stuff like that. And to be honest with you, if I own part of the Sixers, I probably want to be doing the same thing. So maybe it put a conflict of interest there. Maybe it may have. They weren't listening to Brett Brown at the end. They were just basically doing whatever they wanted to do. They weren't listening to him. He was like, they were laughing at the guy. They're not going to laugh. They're not going to laugh at Doc Rivers, no matter what relationship the owner has with the players. Doc Rivers brings a whole nother realm, I think, of professionalism to this team and exactly what they need. Will they be able to instill the discipline? Is Doc Rivers going to stop Joel Embiid from tweeting at 1:00 in the morning? Are they going to stop all that dumb shit? I don't know. Maybe they may put like a whole new set of. We have no idea what's going to happen. But it's exciting for sure, and I definitely don't want to bring any type of negativity into the Sixers right now. The Sixers right now are, they're a sheet of white, right? There's nothing. We're completely whitewashed everything. We're starting over. We don't want anything. Al brought up an interesting question earlier, and I don't think we addressed it. He says the most important question that we should be thinking right now is, what else do we need? And we haven't talked about that. That's good. What else do we bring in, Tone? Right now, you said that there's another move. What would you do? Where's our hole? And the Sixers a lot better than I do.
Well, here's the problem is a lot of this is going to bank on Tobias Harris becoming the Tobias Harris that Doc Rivers had in LA. A lot of this, because again, this is your guy. He is. I continue to say this. We already know what we have with Joel. Right? We already know what we have with Ben. Maybe we don't. I don't know. But the one thing we know for sure is that Tobias Harris to me is the most important part of this team. And because he's the guy. He was supposed to be that stretch four. He was supposed to be that guy that we've never had, the shooter, to be able to hit the three. You paid him $180 million to be that guy, and he showed up very, very small. Right. So if Tobias is the guy, I think the biggest thing the Sixers can do right now is see the way they're constructed right now is in their mind, and this is my problem. In their mind, they're a big three, and their big three is Joe, Tobias, and Ben. And for me, that big three isn't good enough because it's not going to combat. The big two is not going to combat Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving.
That's for sure.
It's just not. So Tobias needs to be the guy. And you're not going to get a number 4, right? You're not. So the biggest thing to me is they have to build this bench. They have to go 9 deep. They have to formulate a team like the Toronto Raptors did when they won. And I know they don't have Kawhi, I get it, but Toronto went 9 deep. The Denver Nuggets go 7, 8 deep. The Boston Celtics go 9 deep. The Sixers need to go 9 deep. And that means signing a couple guys that can come in just like the Celtics did. Okay, they signed a guy like Markieff Morris, right? They have a guy like Marcus Smart. They have guys that can come in and just pick up the slack. That's the Sixers need to do. And it's not Furkan Korkmaz. All right, I don't want to Korkmaz, okay, with his bad hair and his terrible shoe game. Okay? Seriously. Like
let's stick to the things that matter. Bad hair and horrendous shoe game.
Seriously, his fade is horrendous.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
His game sucks. Like seriously. And again, like whatever. And then he's posting you don't even get me started. Okay, but we need a 9-player team. That's what we need.
That's another player everybody fell in love with as soon as he started having a couple of good games. Yeah. Oh, Korkmaz, great value. Korkmaz, this. We're so desperate to fall and to fall in love with players, because we just want everything to be good. We just want to win.
Well,
this town deserves more, man. We deserve winning teams. Yes. We don't deserve this crap. We're really, really good fans, and we're super loyal, and it's the only thing that we look forward to. And why do we got to deal with this crap week in and week out? This dysfunctional shit with the Eagles. Oh. Phillies are a complete friggin' disaster mess, dumpster fire. They have no idea what the hell's going on over there. Why do we have to deal with this? We're better fans than this. We really are. Why do we get so emotional? Why do we give a shit?
Oh, this is interesting. So check this out. So Al said, I'm glad Al brought this up because I always forget about Shake Milton. So Shake played. He's a bench player, right? But he could come in and knock down shots, right?
Yes, experience.
Matisse Thybulle to me was untouchable. I would trade Ben before Thybulle. I think Thybulle's that good. I do.
Wow, bold statement.
Well, defensively, he is a stud. And I think that's what you need to win in the NBA.
It's George Lynch.
Yeah. Oh, please don't. Andre says, hey, this is interesting because Andre, I'll tell you what, Mike, you noticed, Dave, you noticed, John, Andre, my man's in the know. And he says Morey is making one more move. Think about why Morey hasn't announced and welcomed Green publicly yet. And he wants to make one more big splash before the deadline.
So what's he going to do? What's the move he think? What do we think he's going to do?
I mean, listen. The only thing I could say is I know everybody's been clamoring for the whole Buddy Hield thing, and
yeah,
I don't.
You think that's got any legs?
Right.
I don't think so.
I mean, listen. I think it does. I do. I think when you have a player of that stature, I think. I tell you what, though, to see what Robert Covington got in a trade, and you see, I mean, you're gonna give up a lot.
There's no question. The market's just crazy right now. Crazy.
Right, but something Al says we need a power forward who could score. I agree. Maybe a guy like PJ Tucker, right? Maybe, right?
Be bad.
It would be a bad move. I would love one of the Morris brothers, but they're small. They're not powers. But listen. I mean, we
Gordon Hayward.
Who?
Gordon Hayward.
Did you see what he got?
Oh my God!
That's what it is, man.
All guaranteed money, Gordon.
That's what it is. That's what it is. It's crazy town. But what are you gonna do? Sink or swim? You don't build it halfway. You got to go all the way now.
Is he the Sam Bradford of the NBA? Gordon Hayward.
Oh wow!
Maybe it's the same agent.
Wow, I know his shorts are like Sammy's sleeves. His shorts are like huge. But you said Sam Bradford, the NBA. I love it.
I'm very, very happy with where the Sixers are. It's definitely a bright spot for our city, and it's something to look forward to.
Yeah,
we didn't even mention Dwight Howard.
That's enough. Yo, I'm glad you said that, Dave. I completely forgot. Yeah, I'm so talking about Dwight Howard. That's that right there. That's a Doc move.
Yeah, that's a Doc move. And what happened? Did he originally give a verbal agreement to the Lakers?
Yes.
And then I had read an article that said that there was some sort of a miscommunication, or did he just wanted to bail out of there and come to the Sixers? I mean, I guess we'll never know.
He was offered 3 from the Lakers, and something happened, and the Sixers actually gave him less, and he signed with the Sixers.
Maybe he just wanted to change the scenery.
There's more to it than how I just said it, but it was like a head scratcher. Like, what the hell just happened there? And how did we get?
Because maybe he's seeing something that he wants to be part of a young team that's got new leadership. They got a really good, they got good people upstairs now. I mean, Elton Brand aside, no with Elton Brand. I said no when he was hired. I'll say no now. No. Okay.
I was on board with Elton.
I wasn't on board with that. He did some good stuff, but I don't think he fits going forward. He did some good stuff, but anyway.
Yeah, listen. Elton was built on the relationships that he had, and being close to the players, and it just listen. He's learned. This is the way. This is the way to learn. You got a guy named Daryl Morey there now. If he wants to learn, that's fine, but just let Daryl make the decision.
Yeah, but Daryl Morey's playing Moneyball. He's playing fantasy basketball from a computer, but that's fine. That's what we need.
Andre says Howard needs to get out of LA for more than basketball reasons.
Oh, so there may be something brewing over there. So Andre seems to know a lot that we're going to have a dark heat ratio episode.
Yeah. Why does that sound like a Kardashian problem?
Yeah. You know what? Far away from LA. Yeah. Far away. Don't go anywhere near any of those chicks. That's for sure. Unless you want your career ruined.
Speaking of Kardashians, we have to talk about Doggy Style. And it's a good segue into Snoop.
I thought this was a kid show.
I love that transition.
You like that? You like that transition in there, bro?
Kardashian.
Yeah, you're right. This is a good segue into our final segment of tonight, where we talk music. Okay, and this has picked up some steam. I've had people tweet me, and they love it. And I try to go back at least 20 plus years, and kind of equate whatever song or album compared to the episode that we're doing. And this week, 27 years old. Okay, 27 years old, 27th anniversary of Snoop Dogg's Doggy Style album. Now, we talk about this. This is another one of those albums that is highly recognizable. Okay, it was released November 23rd, 1993. Now, we all remember Snoop Dogg.
Death Row.
Right. Exactly. We remember the intro to Snoop Dogg, right? I mean, the deep cover song is one of the best songs ever made. That
really wasn't on the album, though.
No, that was on was that the Murder Was the Case? Well, no, murder was the case. No, what? I don't know what album.
The cover was a soundtrack. It was made for a soundtrack of a movie that had Jeff Goldblum in it and Lawrence Fishburne. And I forget what the name of the movie is, but that's what the deep cover track was made for.
We got it.
Believe it or not, there's some history behind that. Dr. Dre absolutely hated that song and did not want to release it.
Get out of here, really?
Completely crazy, because think about how great that song is, right? I mean, that beat was ridiculous. Everything was great about that, and he hated it. I read that somewhere.
And then it was sampled again. So that beat was sampled.
Yeah, Big Pun did the freestyle on it.
Yeah, him and Fat Joe called Twins. So that was great. That was a great song. But I don't think we realized how good Doggy Style was. Right? It debuted at number 1. That's crazy. It debuted at number 1, okay, and sold 806,000 copies in its first week. The fastest selling hip hop album ever for a debuting artist. Okay, crazy. And to this date, sold over 7 million copies in the U.S. and over 11 million worldwide. I mean, listen. The album, the cover is fantastic. Okay, but it's one of those albums again. Oh wait, Andre says the movie was called Deep Cover.
Deep Cover. Yeah, that's right. Duh.
Yeah.
Sorry. Thank you, Andre.
Deep Cover. And listen, that Gin and Juice. I mean, again, it was What's My Name? They had to edit the song, right? They had to edit the song and put it on radio play, right? But again, the Gin and Juice song was just great, classic, right? I mean, Mike, was there a better song on that album than Gin and Juice?
Probably not. That album was probably one of the most significant albums I guess, right, in the early 90s because it cemented whatever Dre was doing, whatever he did with the Chronic, basically cemented that, and that was just over the top.
West Coast hip hop, man.
That was the G-Funk stuff, and that was that was the beginning of all of that, and the production on some of those tracks were amazing. I mean, that's something that you could just throw on and listen all the way through. It's just great. It was trend-setting, and it's amazing, and that's when Snoop really came into his own.
Who doesn't love Snoop Dogg?
Well, that's the thing. I mean,
he's a lovable character. Everybody
is.
To this day,
he's a lovable character.
He is. I mean, to this day, he does stuff in the community with his football programs. To this day, he's just a lovable guy. I mean, I don't know.
Can't believe he's still walking. That guy smokes more weed than anybody we've ever known. I mean, all day, night and day. I remember there was somebody that was on Howard Stern, I believe, and it was Snoop's blunt roller that just traveled with him, and just all the person did was just roll Snoop's blunts. That's it. It was a full-time job.
A full-time blunt roller, huh?
Think of that.
Do you know the accolades you have to be able to get that job?
Yeah,
I mean, think about the resume.
I mean, you have to be like
blunt roller.
You have to be a Bob Marley descendant to be able to get that job. You have to. I mean, there have to be credentials.
Yeah,
you have to be credentialed.
Yeah.
Listen, man, I honestly don't think Snoop Dogg gets talked about enough. Yeah. I don't. Like, you're right. I mean, am I wrong? How many times does Snoop Dogg come up in a hip hop conversation?
No, he's never listed as like a top 10 rapper.
Not right. Never. Like when you talk, you talk about Nas and Tupac, and you're talking about Biggie, Jay-Z, Ice Cube. You never hear Snoop.
No, you're right. Nobody ever gives him any kind of props. It's almost like he was like some sort of a fad, and he wasn't a fad on the Chronic. No. It was not a fad at all. I mean, he was amazing on the Chronic. His album was great. I mean, I just looked it up. His net worth is $150 million. You see him in these new Corona commercials that they're plastering all over the place.
Yes,
it's a funny guy.
He owns like fields of marijuana, like all over the place. That's why
I'm shocked he can make any profit off of any of that.
$150 million.
Yeah, well, there you go.
No, you know what? Look, I like Snoop. Like, there has never been anything that I don't like about Snoop, but I will say I appreciate him more when he's on other people's albums, songs, call it what you want, than his own. And, back in the day when he came out with his albums, they were spectacular, game-changing. I mean, I had my days to Snoop Dogg, but I'm just saying in general, like, I appreciate Snoop when he gets a verse in something with so many other people.
That's a good point. He was better with cameos on other albums. You're right, John. He really was.
John, that's a good point. That's probably why. Right? That's why. I mean, listen, he was symbolic on the Chronic, but that's because he was with Dre. He was symbolic in Deep Cover because he was with Dre. He was and so I mean, you're right. I mean, maybe that's why. I mean, not to take nothing away from him, but at the end of the day, I mean, Snoop he's just not mentioned enough for me. That's all.
The best is what it is Snoop is Snoop. He's going to do what he is. He's going to chip in. He's going to come out with his own stuff. And at the end of the day, after his albums, everything that he joined in on, whether it was writing, lyrics, whatever, it doesn't matter. Not like Mike said, we're doing Corona commercials. You know what I mean? He has been so mainstream. He has a game show. Like, are you kidding me? Like, this dude is just look, I'm just here to do some things. That's it. You know what I mean? He's like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. That's it.
All I know is his niece is smoking, by the way.
What? I got to look this up.
Sasha Banks.
All right.
So if you're a wrestling guy,
Sasha Dog.
Sasha Banks. And I should say that, I mean, that they're cousins, and I'll tell you what, man, just take that for a peep there, Dave, and you'll see what I'm talking about. But yeah, again, synonymous Snoop with hip hop. Again, I love hip hop. We all like hip hop, but Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, can I see Mikey. He's ready to go. Mikey.
No. I'm just curious about. I was trying to figure out if there was any Scott Storch tracks made for Snoop Dogg, because that's going to be our guest.
I know, that's right.
So he actually made a couple of them, but
did he really?
Yeah, I just googled
Are they
Scott
mainstream,
Storch. No, there wouldn't be any that we would know. So anyway, it didn't really interest me, but you can now when you hear certain beats that when we looked up Scott Storch's stuff and his discography, you can hear his sound. It's very synth heavy, very bass heavy. You know, when you hear Still Dre, and then you look at Fat Joe's Lean Back, you can hear that nasty keyboard synth. It's like that signature Scott Storch sound. And there was a couple of Snoop Dogg songs that had that. I was just curious of whether or not he was involved with him.
This is for the G's and this is for the hustlers.
Yep.
That's that Storch sound.
Dude, we got to get him on.
Y'all know Sasha is very fire. So, John.
Dude, all I want to say, dude, Snoop Dogg, Murder Was the Case.
Yeah, for sure. That was the bomb.
The last song on the track that if you didn't get one of the early editions, you didn't get it, was OFTB Hot One. And I will tell you, in my high school days, look, I'm speaking to you three.
Oh God.
Google OFTB Hot One. That was the missing track on the Murder Was the Case album of Snoop. I'm saying that
they gave me.
I'm saying that song. Dude, if you want to get me to do some karaoke,
if we have karaoke night, you're gonna sing that. You're gonna sing "Murder Was the Case." You're just gonna let it rip.
John's gonna drop some.
Murder Was the Case. Only that song, if you could find it.
Wow, that sounds like a challenge to me.
I got a
Not
question.
really, because I don't want to do that.
Hey, John, you know what time it is?
It's about that time, huh?
It is about that time.
What's in your CD wallet, John?
All right,
it's about that time.
Give me a couple numbers.
All right, we got to go numbers for everybody listening. This is what's in John's CD wallet. You see that rack behind him, and no, not her rack, but his rack back there. With
no her back there.
There are a few in her rack too.
Yeah.
So that's when I get embarrassed.
Kid show.
So we're gonna pick some numbers here. Look, Andre's already got 11, 12. Don, do you have up to 11?
No, I need 1 through 5 to tell me the section. And then
I'm still waiting for somebody to pull a cranberry
each
CD.
section has 30.
Each section has 30. All right, John, I'm going 327. I'm gonna go 327 because I like what Mike said. I want to pull out a winner here, man.
Yeah, a winner. Like, you're gonna pull out what? Edward and the New Bohemians. What are you gonna pull out?
Andre wants 4-1.
4-1.
4-1.
All right, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go 7-7. We're gonna go for 7-7.
Oh, I like that.
Dave, what you got, buddy?
I'm gonna go section 3, disc number 1.
Section 3, disc 1. Very good choice.
Okay.
Al says 25 number for Ben.
Wait. Before we even get into Ben, Mikey Googs, we told you it's 1 through 5. You said 7-7.
Oh, did you? I'm sorry. Give me 5 seconds.
I'm sorry. Like that's into your CD.
I was just checking to see if you were still awake, John.
It's a Hikashi or whatever.
5-7.
Yeah, that's too much Hikashi. Like Tommy said.
Give Al 125. 125.
Sorry.
Al, wait, he went from 4 to 1 to 1.
Well, no, Andre is 4-1.
Oh, my bad. Al. Oh my
I'm 3-1.
Wait, so Al wants what? 425? I feel like I'm taking bets, dude. Do I get like a spread on this?
You're like a Goodfellas, right?
John, act like it's Sunday. You know how you grew up. Phone ringing, writing shit down. Don't act like you didn't do that. Come on.
No, I used to wait till Monday to get the USA Today to add up my fantasy league stats, like by newspaper.
You mean you weren't sitting there with the football pools, getting all panicked to get them all in on every Sunday? I don't know, man.
No, I had people to do that for me.
Oh, big time.
All right, John.
All right, I got 5 things here. I'll be back.
Okay, this ought to be great.
Right, this is going to be good because I think John's half lit. So let's see if he's walking right. Maybe he picks the wrong seat.
All right, so let's say, you know what, we should, before he walked, could you imagine if he split his pants right now?
Yeah, that would be great. That would be great. Right now, like, I don't even think you can read them. So we don't even know what we're going to get.
Yeah.
We have no idea if he's even going to get the right rack.
We should be taking bets on what he's pulling right now. Side angles.
His or her rack.
His or her rack. Oh, I think we're getting. I'm going to go. Well, we got 5 choices. I'm going to go two country. I'm going to go. He's pulling out 2 country tonight.
Is he a country guy?
I don't know. He said he was dancing around to Shania Twain back in college doing dishes for his dorm room.
Oh,
so feels like a woman. And he did admit that.
And he's got the balls to say some shit about you watching Saved by the Bell.
Right.
Oh, yeah. He
Mike
openly admits that. He openly admits
he managed to pour whiskey without moving.
I was wondering if anybody would pick up on that, and no one heard it because I dropped the bottle. I was like,
oh, look at that! That was sweet. Oh, he's got a smile on his face. Look at him.
No,
he's definitely got a cranberries or some dumb shit. Here we go.
Mike, what was your after 7-7? I just ignored.
I said 5. I just said 5-7. Just grab whatever you want. It doesn't matter. Just grab Mike.
Wow,
just stick your hand in there and pull anything out.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, I'll get over it. Let me get through these 4, dude. You know what? Good. You're disqualified from this. We have 4 answers. You're disqualified. So
you know what? You're right. I deserve it.
All right. So we're going Al at 425.
For Ben. This one's for Ben.
Aaron Hall.
Aaron Hall. Oh, don't be afraid.
Oh, dude.
That track is amazing, by the way.
Don't be afraid.
Aaron Hall. Wow.
We get
Aaron
smooth.
Hall.
We get smooth.
That is fantastic. I like that poll.
Oh,
right,
Al said, by the way, I picked up the running back of the Ravens in fantasy you talked about.
Gus
the boss.
Gus on the bus. Oh, yeah, Mikey.
Yeah, baby.
Yo.
Yeah, I have all these CDs here for no reason. Mike pulls it up on his phone in like 3 seconds.
That was in the Juice soundtrack. I thought that's my go-to right there.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, that's a great movie.
Tony,
right, John,
you went 327.
Yeah, what do I got?
We got some R. Kelly.
Oh, I love R. Kelly. Is that 12?
Some R. Kelly.
Which one is that?
I don't even know, man.
Give me some tracks off of that. That ain't 12 play. I know that.
You remind me.
Oh, that's a great song.
So that gives you the album era.
Hopefully that's before the Golden Showers.
Yeah, John. That's it. Yeah.
Yo, man. Now we're going R. Kelly.
You what, hey, look, you guys took 2 smooth tracks out of the high school age. Okay.
I'll tell you what, man, we're 2 for 2 tonight.
That's one rap.
No, we're gonna be 3 for 3.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
A bold statement.
This was I think this is a single CD.
Okay.
But we got SWV.
Oh.
Is it weak?
We got weak.
Oh my goodness. You've got to be kidding me. Are you kidding me?
WV.
Oh,
man.
This reminded me of a slow dance in high school, right, John? Yeah.
Wow. No, I wasn't
damn, John.
to do slow dance and I was pre-gaming.
Yeah, John, whose was that?
That was wait, what do we got? That was one. That was Al, Tony. That was Andre.
That was Andre.
Andre 4-1.
Nice job, Andre.
Mikey got disqualified.
Oh no, come on! You got to give me a pull now. We're 3 for 3. You're not going to give me a chance to ruin it.
No, I still got Dave.
Oh, that's right.
Dave was 3-1.
Garth Brooks.
And dude, I mean, it should have been last week. We got the Beasties.
Oh,
that was 3-1.
Oh,
my goodness.
Mike,
Brass Monkey.
If you guys want to do it, I'll give you one more shot.
I don't know, man. We might not want to be able to break that streak.
Oh man. Yeah, we're some virtual dance party going on here, man.
I think you got to give me a pull, John. You got to give me one, man.
All right,
I got a good feeling.
One last one.
Give me a valid number, dude.
743.
So let's go 319.
319. Oh, did you see John breaking out the dance moves?
Dude, I'll tell you what, every track was platinum 1990s, man. It's all the stuff that we grew up with. It was great.
Andre said I called to check the comments. 3 RB, 1 rap, and 1 country.
All right, here it is. So here comes Garth Brooks.
Yeah, I got friends in long places.
Long places.
Why are you guys talking smack?
No, he said you're going to pull a country track.
No, I mean not up to the same level. I mean this was probably a historic pull.
You got too short.
We do have Ice Cube.
Oh, whoa! Which one is that?
War
I can't
and
see.
Peace.
Nice.
What was this? 2000 or whatever.
Man, that's 3 that you pulled out. 2 rap, 3 RB, and 2 rap. Oh wow.
You know, I don't know what it is. I checked that. For some reason, this is not something I got into. This album, I don't know why.
Yeah, I never I tried forcing myself into it, but it didn't work.
So the track list is Ask About Me, Pushing Weight, Dr. Frankenstein, Fuck Dying, War and Peace, Ghetto Vet, Green, Cash Over Ass, which is
Pushing Weight and War and Peace are very underrated songs.
Okay, so I don't remember that one, but maybe we'll just turn it on. The Curse of Money, The Pecking Order, Limos, Demos, and Bimbos, Once Upon a Time in the Projects 2, X Bitches, Extradition, 3 Strikes and You, The Penitentiary, and If I Was Fucking You. Kid Show. Wow. I know. That's the track list. Pushing Weight song. I don't think I've ever heard it, but that's this.
I push rhymes like way.
Oh, I know this.
Only good song on.
Oh yeah, this was good. Yeah. Yeah.
It's very hard to find a Cube track that's not good. You know what I mean? Just because of his demeanor. It's like he's like Pac. Like everything Tupac, it didn't matter. Whatever he rapped was good just because of his voice, you know?
I can't believe that we've gone this many weeks of doing this, and there hasn't been one of like probably 10 Tupac CDs chosen.
Well, no. See, here's the problem. Goose just set a standard tonight because he just actually he was like his own. What's that app where you hear the song Shazam? He's been like our own Shazam guy, which means next week when we pull these and the track absolutely is brutal, he's gonna have to play. It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be great. But we hit them all out of the park tonight. They were all good. Every one of them.
Good. John, they were all good tonight. Literally, they were all good.
You're gonna have to stuff your rack with something real bad, man, because if you got that kind of gold in there, we gotta have a stinker in there somewhere, John.
Yeah.
Dude, we had a stinker the first week.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot
we rolled out and we thought it was gonna be all great. It was like
terrible. All right, boys. Look, we're at 2 hours and 6 minutes. This is the ultimate that we went longer than ever tonight, but the first hour was warranted. We couldn't do it. We spent double the time on the Eagles. It had to be done. Had to be said. I think it was a fantastic show. We all got our frustrations out. It was a really good. I mean, me and Dave went at it a little bit, which was excellent. John did his normal. Just give me 8 seconds. Give me 8 seconds. And then you guys could talk, which was great. Mikey Goose with the ultimate fan concept and perspective, which was great. Andre, Al, everybody checking in as always. Heat Ratio Sports Family. Thank you guys again. Heat Ratio episode 137. From us to everybody, an amazing happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Happy, healthy Thanksgiving.
Yes.
I mean, we are thankful for you guys, for the followers of this show, It's been tremendous. I mean, it has. It's great, whether it be on Twitter, whether it be on StreamYard, which we stream on, whether it be on our iTunes page, whatever it is. You guys are always commenting. I see every day. And again, you got to follow. Again, you got to follow the Twitter handles. Okay, at PGHSean36, at Coach Dixon 365, at TKTool23, and at Mikey Googs is now on Twitter.
Oh no, crazy. Crazy.
I'll tell you, man, 100%. And again, we thank you, everybody. Get the reviews, get the ratings. If you like the show, give us a review. And again, check out the fantasy segments as well. Me and John will probably be dropping fantasy tomorrow night, getting ready for week 12 and them early Thanksgiving games. And on Sundays as well, on the Gambler, on iHeart, 9:30 a.m. Drop us on fantasy football knowledge. But as always, like we like to say here on the Heat Ratio Show, everybody stay safe, stay healthy, and we will catch you next week.
Peace.